like his stance on how he views putting more over, I'd say, Americans. Obviously, the shit in Iran right now doesn't go along with this, but for the most part, through 8 years, I'd say his stance on putting America first and focusing on us over, say, immigrants, shit like that.
Okay. And can you name one material benefit that he's done for the American people?
He the all the ICE stuff, cracking down on ICE,
Yeah, how does that
and
materially benefit you?
well, me individually, it doesn't. As a country, it keeps ICE
It hasn't
obviously.
materially benefited you at all?
Well, I mean, in day to day life, I haven't gotten approached by one of these illegal immigrants that go do dumb shit like kill people, all that good stuff. That's why we need to get them out. You know what I mean?
Well, like
But
undocumented immigrants are multiple times less likely to commit these particular types of crimes. Plus, if we provided a pathway to citizenship for undocumented immigrants who have not committed a violent crime or bad crime, it would quite literally make it easier for law enforcement to focus on those that have committed violent crimes and bad crimes rather than just people who are here coming for a better life.
right. So, and I have no problem with coming here and doing it the right way. It's just the people that break over here. And honestly, I have no problem because I've worked with an illegal immigrant like just construction, and he wants to cause no harm to anybody. But the people that come over here and do it the wrong way and then do wrong things on top of already just doing it illegally, that's the thing I have a problem with.
Do you want people to go the right way? Well, then what you're not understanding is that the legal process right now takes way too long. So what we need to do is we need to make the legal process go quicker and provide that quicker legal process for undocumented immigrants who are already in the country who haven't committed a violent crime or bad crime to ensure that the most amount of people are vetted as possible. Because right now when you keep them under the threat of mass deportation, right, it limits them from identifying themselves to authorities. So if you do provide them this pathway to citizenship, more people will identify themselves to authorities, and it will make it easier for us to be able to address the conditions of the border in the most safe way
Well,
possible. Like genuinely, like why wouldn't we do that?
I understand what you're saying, but like, and I understand that making it quicker is obviously more optimal just because who wants to wait 7, 10 years to do it the right way when you could just have a faster process that they can go through. But then you look at I don't know, good portion of those people that come in and just plead asylum or, yeah. And then it's like you have however many, I don't have numbers, but that huge amount of people that just want to come in and be like, well, asylum, and then suddenly they're allowed here. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but like that should be a process that we have because we want to assure that people in circumstances in which they need it get access to it.
Well, sure, I get that, but what if it's somebody that just doesn't want to, say Mexico, for example.
So someone
Say
who
somebody
wouldn't make
just
it
want,
through make the legal process for asylum go quicker, it will disincentivize people with invalid asylum claims from coming to our country because they'll get to stay in the country for less long.
okay, because all right, because I just feel like it would. It's not like if you don't like the state you're living in and wherever you're at, that's not the United States, then you can do it the right way, but you can't just cheat. I feel like it's cheating almost, unless you have like an actual good reason.
It's cheating? You mean just
We're
because
not.
like they get to come to the country quicker?
Yes, yeah, pretty
Okay.
much.
Well, like just think about it this way, right? If the legal, if we we're talking about people who paid for their children's school, K through 12, before we made it free public universities, would they be able to say the same thing?
Hold on. Can you say that again? So
Yeah,
people,
for people who paid for their kids' schooling, K through 12, prior to
right?
us making it free at the point of service, public K through 12, would they be able to say the same thing?
Well, that was like a country what? Okay, so that's like a countrywide thing. You're saying you're trying to say it's like kind of the same parallel to immigration,
Well,
obviously just on a bigger scale.
the point that I'm
Like,
making is that just because we're making it quicker for people or better for people in the future, right, doesn't necessarily mean that people got scammed, right, by our system in the past. Just because we made the system better for people in the future, right? We want to progress our society, right?
well, sure, I get that because I mean, obviously, if you're 70 years old and you went through the whole process doing it legally, and then your grandkid gets it done a lot faster than you, I mean, there's nothing you can do about it. You know what I mean?
No,
Because like
yeah,
due to
like
rule
the point we're
change,
trying to make is that, like, yes, we made it quicker for immigrants now, and it wasn't as quick for immigrants in the past. But that's the point of fixing these systems, is that we have to change the conditions and make them better off. If we didn't do that, well, then we would never progress. So just because it took longer for people in the past doesn't mean it should always take that long.
no, and I get that. I agree with like making it quicker. I just have an issue with. I guess it's more over people that are against the deportation of the people that came illegally. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think someone should be deported if they haven't committed a violent crime or bad crime. Now, my position is different from the typical Democratic Party. The typical Democratic Party is arguing criminalize undocumented entry, just make the legal process go quicker. I'm arguing I think the best way to address this would be providing a pathway to citizenship for undocumented immigrants who have not committed a violent crime or bad crime, and then making the legal process quicker. I think that's the best way to address the conditions at the border.
Yeah. So if they're here illegally and they're not doing anything wrong, because I would say a decent portion is just coming here for work. You know what I mean? Like they're not coming here for anything other than just to better their lives. But then there's the other portion who are here for not good. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and you'd be able to identify people who are here for bad reasons to a greater extent if a greater proportion of people who are in the country undocumented fit that description, because people who are coming who haven't committed a violent crime or bad crime have been given a pathway to citizenship.
Sure. Yeah. So I guess just like the point I'm trying to make is, or I was moreover like curious on your stance on you kind of just told me, but deportation of illegals. So you think they should only be deported if they've done a crime?
A violent crime or a bad enough crime to deport them. Yeah.
So, but if they're here illegally and they're not doing anything wrong, it's cool.
Yeah, I think they should give them a pathway to citizenship if they haven't committed a violent crime or bad crime.
Yeah, but shouldn't they do it the right way though? Even though it takes a while. I mean, I get that. I guess it's like luck of the draw. Like if
Sure,
me
but
and you
I
both
don't
grew
care
up,
to punish them.
well, I wouldn't say like don't throw them in a damn concentration camp. And
Well, I don't think they should be deported either. I don't think they should be removed from the country. If they would have, especially because the legal process takes so long, they probably would have gone through the legal process if it was a lot quicker, right?
well, yeah, but that then again,
So then, like, I just like we're harming people that would have otherwise gone through said legal process. Like if we had it under my system,
so it's either do it legally and it takes a while, or come here and risk being harmed when
no,
you could have just done it the right way, even though it takes a while, which I understand.
it's more
Yeah, that
costly to
sucks.
engage in deportation with less benefit.
Okay.
And immigration's good. It's not a bad thing. It's not a net
No, I
loss. It's a
completely
net
agree.
benefit.
I agree with that as long as it's done in the right way, which, I mean, there's obviously multiple opinions of the right way and who's here and who's allowed to be here according to us, you know what I mean?
Okay, I'm confused. What your point is. Do you think do you think it's been immigration's been vastly beneficial to our society?
I mean, it's not like we got people that are coming in and making a huge difference. I mean, I'm all
Yeah,
for
we do.
immigration. Who?
Yeah, did you know over the past 30 years, immigrants have decreased the deficit by $14.5 trillion, dollars, according to the Cato Institute?
Deficit of what?
The federal deficit?
Oh, yeah, yeah, sorry. Half asleep. Um, how like how so? Just
By
by doing
increasing
what?
GDP and tax revenue and productivity.
All right, I was unaware of that. But because I mean, most of the things I've read and things I've seen, it's all about just it's either something bad or it's just people that come here to work.
Yeah, because people are fear mongering about immigrants.
Okay.
Yeah, so
All right,
seriously,
I'm not.
like, what's the big deal? I think that the evidence indicates that immigration is very effective, and that people are being fear mongered into scapegoating immigrants for problems that aren't caused by them, in order to distract away from broader economic issues of who's actually the problem. Who's actually the problem? It's going to be the richest billionaires in that are not paying their fair share, who are paying a lower effective tax rate than working class people.
So you
That's what there's a distraction from.
are you
So
are
they
you pro
absolutely
like
use immigrants and trans people and different types of communities in order to be able to distract, the vast majority of people from addressing the issues in terms of access to basic resources, and how people aren't paying into the system, and how there is a system that benefits the richest Americans and is incredibly corrupt. I think that limits our ability to actually address things meaningfully, because people are so focused on the fear mongering and propaganda that the Republican Party is spewing about trans people and immigrants.
okay? So you think are you pro like tax the rich and give to the poor?
Yeah. I think that who's going to be paying, I'd rather that rich people pay into the system than people who need it, right? Like, the system's supposed to provide for people in need, right? And inevitably providing for people in need, it still inevitably helps the rich people, because the rich people will produce products that everyone buys. So there's a natural trickle up element within the economy. So that if you tax the rich like a lot, you still have a functioning society. But if you were to get all that tax revenue from working class people or people in need, you're not going to have as much of a functioning society. Not as many people are going to be able to buy the products to keep the economy flowing and functioning.
But the rich people have worked for all their wealth, so why would they just be
So is
happy?
everyone else.
Well, half the people you're taking their half their money is taken from the rich and given to them. They haven't made that; it's given to them by the government.
So yeah, I mean, I do think that that makes sense. If you make a bunch of money, you pay back to society. That's talking about paying your fair share.
Well, yeah, I think everybody's fair share should be even. It doesn't
I just
matter if
think
I
that
make
this
a
like
million
that's
dollars.
ridiculous, because we have to spend different amounts on cost of living.
So if me and you both go to college, get the same degree, and then something happens, and say you become a millionaire and I become some janitor and I make jack shit a year.
I should pay a way higher percentage than you.
No, no,
Did you think I'm going to be scared of saying that?
no. I mean, I've watched your shit for a while, and I knew you'd say something along those lines.
Yeah.
I just don't think like
Because
if
I
you
really
work.
do care about my society. I really love this country. Like, explain to me why conservatives, if they say they love this country so much, why are they so unwilling that if they became so well off to give back to the society in which they love so much?
I don't think it's unwilling to give back to the society. I think it's unwilling to give back to the people that are just waiting for the handout. If it's people who are actually trying and
This isn't
actually
just
need
people
it,
waiting for we're talking about providing basic services people need. Healthcare, education, childcare, right? Sustaining families, building up those families, maintaining, right, like our society as a whole, ensuring that we have a good educational base. I think that those things are incredibly important, and that's giving back to society, right? So again, conservatives say they love this country so much, say that they're so patriotic, but whenever the tax bill comes around, they act like they can't give back to society anymore. And I'm not even talking about giving up more than half of your income at the highest levels of income. I'm talking about, like, yeah, you should pay up to 50% when you're making millions of dollars. It's not a complicated thing. Like, that's giving back to your society. That's the society
There's
that built you up to where you can make that much in the very first place. You should absolutely ensure that everyone's taken care of. And you know what's going to be crazy? You're still going to be rich. You're still going to be well off. You're still going to be okay. But you want to know
ha-
what? More children are fed. More people have access to the healthcare that they need. Less people die because they're poor. You know what I mean? Like, that's a better society to me. Oh my God, the rich people had an extra percentage taken off. No, I'm happy that the children are fed. I'm happy that the people don't die. I think that matters a lot more in the whole scheme of things than a little bit extra in the bank account that they probably won't even use or probably won't even impact their life meaningfully.
but it's not a little bit extra. It's damn near half. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, yeah,
So if I'm making $1 million a year, it turns into 500,000, and that 500,000 is just going to all those reasons you just said. Whereas I could put it back into society in numerous other ways.
yeah. And what
To
way would you meaningfully put it back into society? And I mean, even so, right? I think that tax system should go up over time. We're talking about for the richest Americans, millions and millions and millions of dollars a year. Yeah, it should be upwards of that 50% number. Getting down, though, obviously going down in terms of those things, right? We would probably taper it down between the 40 to 50% range. But yeah, you at that level of income, you're going to be paying around that much. And that's called giving back to the society that provided for you. And is that a bad
how
thing? No. You
how did
still have
society
you still
provide that?
have that much in a year. You're going to be fine
But how did society give back to me
because it produced the
or build me
conditions
up?
where yeah, it produced the conditions where you can make that in the first place.
But the people I'm giving back to had probably more than likely little to no impact on how I became what I was. I'm saying
I
I,
heavily
as in
disagree with you.
a rich American. I'm 18 years old. I'm a freshman in college. I'm fixing to get a class in four
Whether
minutes.
you
But
work for a business and that business relies upon the demand of people, or you start a business yourself and you rely upon the demand of people, right? You're going to inevitably make money because society is doing better. So if you prop up society, that inevitably helps you. Hell, you benefited from society. You went to public education, probably. You use public roads. You
well,
use infrastructure and services that exist within our system, again, which produce the conditions where you could even make that wealth in the first place. So, yeah, I do think that you should pay that much back and you should be okay with paying that much back because it inevitably creates the stability within our society relevant towards producing the conditions where you're profitable in the first place.
I understand that angle and the whole supply demand. I'm selling this to you. You have to buy it no matter what you make, and you're making me money. Okay, I understand that.
It's
I
about
understand
producing
your
the
angle.
conditions within a society to create stable conditions where you can make a lot in the first place. I understand it seems like, oh, I have to pay so much more in that everyone else doesn't have to because I'm just making more. I'm being punished for making more. Well, that's just inevitably the better conditions for society because I'd rather be taxing those that have so much already that have gotten that from the society that exists in the first place rather than taking it from those that are in need that inevitably need to be helped up by the system anyway. Because I want to create that social mobility for everyone.
Okay.
So, like, again, compare the societies we'd have, right? We have a society where more people have access to healthcare, more people have childcare, more people have housing affordability, more people are fed, right? Where billionaires are taxed at a slightly higher rate, or not, we'll go with a way higher rate, right? Or we have a society that billionaires are taxed at a significantly lower rate, and we don't provide those things, and people are disenfranchised. Do you really think in that society those billionaires will decide to provide more into the system privately, just out of their own love for people? Or do you think that
Goodwill.
they would provide more through the context of a system of taxation?
Well, there you have to through system taxation, and you would think that I would just take my family for example. They obviously they hate when it's tax time because they get half their shit taken and given to all those things you just said. But there would be plenty of there would there's always plenty of times we're finding ways to give back to the less fortunate.
Yeah. So then, like,
My
why don't you just see that as an extension of this?
because it's forced, and I think it's moreover, where is my
But
money
that's kind of
going
like a
other than to
duty
me?
that we have in society, you know? The same way that like you have to like take care of yourself, you know, as a person. There are certain types of things that you have to do to ensure that you're taken care of, right? So that you go to work, you get ready, you know? Like every day, those are things we have to do, right?
For sure.
So I'm just saying like taxes are kind of just like a part of society, something that we have to do to ensure that things are stable and good. That's kind of like the point I'm making. It's like adulting, you know? It's kind of sucks. You have to pay for it, but we have to pay for it as adults. And the less that some people pay for it, the more that they evade taxes because they think that they're so much better than everyone else, the more that everyone else has to pay that bill. And inevitably, the
So
richest Americans feel like they're so much better insofar as that they don't have to pay these things, right? And they don't have to pay into the system. And that's why the richest billionaires, I'm talking about the richest billionaires, they pay a lower effective tax rate than the working class. I'm not right now even talking about the people at the highest levels of not even the highest levels of income, but higher levels of income, right? Who make their money through income. They pay relatively a lot through the context of our income tax structure. I'm talking about the people who pay specifically capital gains. I'm talking about the people specifically who pay lower effective tax rates than that, who are trying to evade taxes, right?
sure.
And that's who I'm kind of talking about to a greater extent. If your
No, I
family's
mean there's
paying 50% of their income, we're already telling you that they're paying a fair share. You know what I
yeah,
mean?
I mean there's plenty of
They're
ways to
not
get
the people
away
evading
or avoid
taxes
it.
like everyone
Yeah.
else. Like you should be mad at the people who are evading taxes because it puts more of the burden on your family.
Yeah, but I mean you evade taxes in plenty of different ways. I mean, I don't know. There's always what I've been around in my family is a decent amount of like finding ways to lessen the blow from taxes each year. You know what I mean? I mean, when December rolls around, let's buy a new Bobcat or something, or like something like that. You know what I mean? Just for write-offs. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it has to be relevant to your business. And
Oh,
also,
of
I just want to
course. I
let you know
mean,
like how write-offs work. They reduce your taxable income. It's not just free money.
oh no,
Yeah, so
but I
you
mean,
save whatever your top marginal tax rate is on that
yeah,
purchase. So
absolutely.
like buying like I just want you to know, especially going on I don't know how a Bobcat would be relevant to your business, but
Instruction.
oh, construction, I'm not quite sure. I thought that was maybe like a certain type of car. I apologize. I'm not
No, no,
very
no,
familiar.
Bobcat. No, Bobcats. Like you see that. You ever pass like a construction site and you see those big ass yellow
Okay, well then that
machines?
makes sense. Yeah, like of course. Doesn't that
Yeah, or I
you
mean,
know what that just created then? That level of taxation that you have then created the incentive for you to invest back into your firm. Does that make sense? Towards something that then can produce more. So now because you
yeah.
guys have that new Bobcat, you can produce more within your business. It makes you more productive.
Well, yes. Yeah, it's always nice to have new toys, but I'm just saying.
Well, it's not a new toy. That increases the productivity of your business, right?
Sure. I mean, whether it's whether it's a need or just something to write off. Yes, it does.
Yeah, so like that's why those types of write-offs exist for business expenses such as that. And the marginal tax rate being higher created an incentive where you bought that, whereas you might not have otherwise done so.
Sure. All right. Well, not gonna lie, I got class at 1. Gonna go
Okay.
study some calculus. It
Alrighty.
was great talking to you. Are you gonna be live tonight? Because I have some more points I'd love to
I'll be
speak
alive
on.
until like 1:32 2 p.m. my time. It's 9:30 right now for me.
Damn, where you live, Cali?
Hmm.
Oh, for real? I'm all the way in North Carolina right now, buddy.
So you're East Coast, yeah. Well, yeah, I'll be on for hours, so you'll probably already be done with your thing, so you can come back.
All
All
right,
right,
perfect.
appreciate you coming out.
Yep.
Let's go to the next individual. If you're on YouTube, hit that thumbs up. If you're on TikTok, tap that screen. It'll help get it out to more people as always. Let's get on to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria listed in the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates, everybody. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria listed in the TikTok screen. Alrighty, let's go to the next individual. Only do send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
61.
Do you support Trump?
Yes.
What's your birth year?
64.
Okay. If the election were held today, Harris versus Trump, who would you rather vote for?
Trump.
Okay. Why do you support Trump?
What he does for America is America first. That's why we support Trump. He
Okay.
doesn't support the criminals that are transported into this country that make it less safer. He makes it much safer.
So you would never support a criminal?
He's not a criminal.
I'm just asking you, would you ever support a criminal?
What kind of criminal is that?
So you would support a criminal?
But what are you talking about? What criminal?
I never even specified. I just said any criminal.
What criminal? What are you talking about? What are you trying to say?
Like, how about if someone's a felon?
Like who?
Would you ever support a felon?
It depends on what that felon did.
Okay. Okay, so then you don't really care about the crimes. So then, what are you referencing? What was the big issue
What?
with people unlawfully entering the country? It doesn't even seem like you give a shit about the crime.
The crime that the Democrats exported into America?
Exported? You mean imported?
I'm sorry, imported into America?
No, we
And
didn't
Trump is-
import crime into America. That's not how it works. You know that Donald Trump pardoned
Right.
violent rioters who beat police officers and called them patriots? So that's quite literally, quote unquote, importing crime into our country.
You know that's a lie.
It's not a lie.
You know they didn't do that. The only one
They were convicted of it. It was caught on video. There was officer testimony of it happening. Now you're saying the cops are lying?
they are lying. You know that.
All cops lie?
So show me.
So if all
Show
cops lie, do
me-
you want to defund the police?
No, I don't want to defund the police.
But
I
you
wanna
want to
defund the
fund
criminals.
lying cops?
I want to defund the lying cops. Absolutely.
Okay. So I just want to let you know there's no evidence that they were lying. There's literally like evidence that
Yeah,
they
there's
were
a lot of
telling the
evidence
truth
that
because
they
it's
were
on
lying.
video. There's literally video
Yes,
footage of this
there's a
happening.
lot of
And also,
evidence.
by the way, some of the people that did this admitted to doing it themselves and they were convicted of doing this. So you say it's all a lie that none of them assaulted police officers on January 6th. You clearly just don't know what you're talking about.
Are you serious? Are you serious? You know that January 6th was a hoax. Not one person was charged with insurrection.
Yeah, they were.
Do you know that not one person was charged with insurrection during January 6th rioting?
And even so, even if they weren't charged, that wouldn't even change whether or not they should be. I'm talking about people who pled guilty for assaulting police officers. Can you admit that people pled guilty and admitted that they themselves assaulted police officers?
They had no choice because they were going to overcharge them, and they were held on misdemeanors that the Biden administration let out murderers and rapists. I mean, is that crazy?
Oh, okay. So you know that you think all of that evidence is fake. That was determined in the court case. So you think those court cases are all fake. So then couldn't you just say all the court cases are fake against undocumented immigrants? They're not actually undocumented?
They are undocumented. Stop.
No, they're
They
not.
are
No, I don't accept any of those court cases against any of them. They're all fake shams, created by corrupt judges, actually. Corrupt judges like you've never seen before.
I've never seen any corrupt judges like these.
They're all so corrupt, I'm telling you, every single one of them.
You know that.
Yeah, they're so corrupt, you know it. You know it. You've actually seen it yourself, right? You've seen how corrupt they actually are. You saw it on January 6th, right? So, I mean, if you see it on January 6th, we see it all around the country, right? All these corrupt judges that are, giving all these charges to people, they're not actually undocumented. What? What are you talking about? They're just corrupt judges that are trying to go after people, right? And violate their rights, their constitutionally protected rights.
How old are you?
I'm 24 years old.
Oh my God.
Why is that
So
an
you mean
issue?
to no? You just mean to tell me that Judge Boasberg is not corrupt?
What
All
what
the D.C.
can you
Circuit
let me ask you this question. Can you name one thing that this person did that's corrupt?
Boasberg. What he did was he put his 2 cents. Well, the Supreme Court knocked him down, but he still went against and made injunctions against Trump's executive orders, and they were told to stop it, and they still did it. So he should be
Can you give
impeached.
me a source?
The Supreme Court.
What's the title of the article that reports that the Supreme Court even did this in the first place?
You know what? I don't have the
I can
article,
give you
but
time to look it up if you'd like.
oh, give me 1 second. Give me one.
For sure, for sure.
Just happened actually.
Alrighty. Todd, thank you for the
On the
$10. I actually
on the
did, Todd. Thank you very
immigration
much.
on the immigration thing where he was interfering, stopping deportation of people who already had deportation orders. It just happened with oh man, I can't even remember to tell you the truth. But it was so many cases you can't even imagine. So have you ever seen
I need a source.
I don't know what the source is. So you believe that Joe Biden got 81 million votes?
Is this a pivot?
No, I'm just asking you. Oh, I'm done with that
Yeah, of
already.
course I do.
We already know. Yeah, you do, huh?
Yeah.
So in 20 what is it, 2012, you think he's more popular
Do you think all
than
the 60
Barack
plus,
Obama?
do you think all the judges in all the 60 plus court cases that indicated no sufficient evidence to overturn the election, do you think every single one of them are corrupt?
But there was no court cases. They just had no
There were.
standing, they said.
Yeah,
There was no
which
court
is a court
cases.
case that claims that they didn't have
There
standing to
was
even bring it to court in the
there was
first place.
zero
Yeah,
zero
so
court
by the way,
cases. They just
what
had
that
they
means,
said they had no
listen,
standing.
listen, what that means is that none of them had standing to even go to court in the first place.
Well, they
And
did.
you, wait, by the way, and you,
They're
so
American
that's what you're
citizens.
trying to say is evidence.
They're American citizens. They have standing, but they chose
No.
to do that because of the corrupt
Just because you're an
judges in this
American
country.
citizen does not mean you have standing.
Yes, you do.
No.
You mean to tell me that President Trump didn't have standing?
So can I take you to court right now for stealing my unicorn? I'm an American citizen.
Can you take for stealing what unicorn?
For stealing your unicorn. Or you stole my unicorn, sorry.
There's no such thing as unicorn. So give something.
Wait, but like I'm an American citizen. I have grounds because I'm an American citizen.
I know in this.
He got a flag for misinformation. Surprising. Do you see how ridiculous that would be? Just because you're an American citizen does not mean you have grounds. Under his view, that would literally, logically entail that I had legal grounds to sue him because he stole my unicorn. Just because I'm a U.S. citizen, that means I have grounds. That's such a ridiculous view, dude. Sometimes people just say some of the dumbest things ever, and they just don't realize it, you know? Yotsup, how old are you? How old are you? Okay, let's go to the next individual. Only do send a guest request if you meet that criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates, everybody. Yotsup, how old are you?
32.
Do you support Trump?
Yep.
Election all today, Harris versus Trump. Who would you rather vote for?
Trump.
Okay, why do you support Trump?
Immigration, mainly.
Okay, what about immigration?
Mass deportations, bulking up ICE, things of that nature.
Okay.
Getting
What
rid of
name
the
one
BPD
benefit of
limit.
mass deportation?
Not having illegal people in our country.
Oh, this is Josh. I don't like you. Leave me alone.
What the hell?
I wasn't sure. Alrighty. So the next individual only send a guest request if you meet that criteria listed in the TikTok screen. Yotsup, how old are you?
67.
Let's go to the next individual only send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the screen, everybody. Yotsup, how old are you?
18.
Do you support Trump?
Yes, I do.
Election held today, Harris versus Trump. Who would you rather vote for?
Trump.
What's your birth year?
2007, August 19th.
Okay. And why do you support Trump?
Um, because I feel like he's better. He's made better decisions.
Such as?
War wise,
Such as what?
war.
You think going to war after claiming no new
I mean,
wars
it's.
is a better idea?
I mean, everybody was scared. Trump was the only one that actually like.
He said no new wars, my guy.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, so like you think it's better for him to say no new wars and then start a war? Okay, well they just left. Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria listed on the TikTok screen. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Do
Yo, what's up, Parker? I'm 19.
you support Trump?
Yeah,
Election held today, Harris versus Trump. Who would you rather vote for?
probably Trump.
And what's your birth year?
2007,
And what month?
January.
Okay, why do you support Trump?
Like it's not about the fact that I like really like Trump. It's the fact that I don't like Harris.
Okay. What about her? Can you name one policy that she proposed that you disagree with?
I mean, honestly, it's not like about her policies. It's just like I don't feel like she can handle Putin. You know,
Okay. Well, I have a question. What state do you live in?
I live in California,
And what time is it?
so it's nigger, 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 nigger.
You're disgusting. Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed in the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates, everybody. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria listed in the TikTok screen. Let's go on the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen, everybody. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Hello? Okay. Let's go to the next individual. Only do send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed in the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates, everybody. Please only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen, everyone. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I was born in 2013.
Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed in the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Was born in the 99.
Do you support Trump?
Yeah, I support Trump because I think he's destroying America, and I think that's a good thing.
You think he's what?
Destroying America, and I think that's good for the rest of the world.
Okay. All right, well, let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates, everybody. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed in the TikTok screen. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
President.
Okay. Let's go to the next individual. I do have a few people to thank. Libby, thank you for the $50. Thank you so much on Venmo for I don't support theft of unicorns. Can we get some W's for Libby in the comment section right now? Exactly what I'm saying. We do not support the theft of unicorns. We are taking people to court for stealing my unicorns, actually. We don't accept that at all. Republicans stole my unicorns. We're going after them, everybody. We're taking them to court for them stealing my unicorns. Thank you so much, Libby, for the Unicorn Defense Fund. Thank you very much. The Unicorn Defense Fund is incredibly important, actually. I tell you that. Incredibly important. Kathy, thank you so much. Really appreciate the $50. Thank you very much for really pushing on YouTube Super Chat. They said all you need is love. Thank you so much. I appreciate it, Kathy. Get some W's for Kathy in the comment section right now for the $50 on YouTube Super Chat. Thank you so much. Let's go on to the next individual here quick. Only do send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed here on the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates, everybody. So please only send a guest request if you meet that criteria listed on the TikTok screen. Yo, how old are you?
Yo, you can hear me?
How old are you?
18.
Do you support Trump?
Of course.
The election was held today. Harris versus Trump. Who would you rather vote for?
Trump.
What's your birth year?
2008.
What month?
April. My birthday was yesterday. On 420.
I feel like you're trolling. You know what's how old are you?
I'm 19.
Do you support Trump?
I didn't want to talk about this. Can I talk about?
Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria listed in the TikTok screen. Max, thank you for the $10. Unicorn Defense Fund W. Unicorns are amazing. We love them so much. And we cannot stand these Republicans stealing my unicorns. Victoria, thank you for the level up sparks. Thank you very much. Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria listed on the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates, everybody. How old are you?
19.
Do you support Trump?
Oh, yeah.
And what's your birth year?
December 21st, 2006.
Okay. And do you support Trump?
Oh, hell yeah.
Why do you support Trump?
I'm in the high tax margin, so I mean, it feels great, you know? Feels good.
A high tax margin, therefore you feel great. Wait, you're trolling me.
No, I'm not, I swear.
No, stop stealing my unicorns. Yo, what's up, how old are you?
19.
Do you support Trump? Okay, let's go to the next individual, everybody. We are just looking for some debates. Yo, what's up, how old are you?
Hello? Not old enough, but wait, can I?
How does it feel that you're the only Trump supporter left in the world? In the world, how does it feel? You're the only one left.
There was no way that I could just sit there and just go through these people just to find somebody that's going to cook you like me.
There's
crazy.
No, you're not going to cook me. It's impossible. You should grab your own popcorn and start eating it because you're about to get dunked on yourself. But literally, you're the only Trump supporter left in the world. How does it feel?
Feels great. It feels beautiful.
You like being the sole cultist?
Well, it's not much of a cult if I'm the only one left, am I?
Well, it is a cult. You're willing to support him no matter what. It can be a small cult.
So I'm the
It's a
only one
really
of the
small cult.
Oh, really? Awesome. Anyway, let's debate Iran.
Okay, can you name one objective that the U.S. has met since the beginning of the war?
Yeah, the lack of ability for them to.
What specific objective have we met from the war?
From the war, so the strikes last year just was like a delay, I guess, tactic, or us telling Iran stop it, or we're gonna do more. So it was a successful attack last year. We did eliminate some, but not all of their facilities, and now we're just going back and since they didn't get the point, but we're just going back and finishing the deal.
So do we have all of their enriched uranium right now?
No, that's what we're.
No, we don't. So we haven't met that objective. Okay, so what objective have we met through the war?
That's a separate objective. You just mentioned another objective.
Sir, I'm just waiting. What objective have we met through the war?
Stopping Iran from enriching uranium.
Well, we haven't done that. That was already prevented, right, before the war. So can you explain to me, and by the way, it was already prevented through the JCPOA. Can you explain to me what objective we've met through the war?
Yes, we stopped Iran from enriching uranium.
Okay, you just need to keep repeating an objective that we didn't meet. We didn't completely prevent them. We didn't completely prevent them from enriching uranium.
Right. Can you show me one facility that is enriching uranium right now in Iran?
Well, could you tell me one facility that was enriching uranium prior to the strikes and the war with Iran? Because apparently, Tulsi Gabbard, the director of national intelligence, testified in front of Congress on behalf of the intelligence community and said that there was no enrichment of uranium according to U.S. intelligence after the original strike a year ago. So if you're going to say that's the standard specifically for saying that objective is met, well, that objective was met prior to starting the war.
Yeah, but that same intel, the intel agency that did report on that also didn't know about Iran's missile capabilities. So intel is
Wait,
as good as
you
the
mean the
information
U.S.
put
intel
in.
is
So we don't
bad?
have.
The U intelligence
No,
community
it's
has
not
no
bad. It's
information?
just no. It's just no. It's not bad.
This guest
It's
knows more
good.
than
It's
the
just we
U.S.
don't
intel
have
agencies.
every.
Hmm.
Well, I mean, being that I've worked in those facilities before in those agencies, yeah, I know how things work. But
So you think the Trump
just because they're good,
administration's intelligence community is dog shit?
well, no, well, now you're going down a rabbit hole because
Wait, so then they have
your
good
boy
information?
CK.
So the Trump administration intelligence community gets good information. Do you agree?
Yeah, I say not great, but good information.
Okay.
Actually, they
So
probably receive great information, but they twist and turn it just like every other
oh,
administration
okay. But
has in the
that's
past
not
100
something
years.
Tulsi Gabbard can do under oath, right?
So she made a claim that that Iran was not seeking enriched uranium for nuclear purposes
Since the original strike about a year ago.
since
Yeah,
the
there's
original
no
strike.
US
Right.
there's no US intelligence indicating that they've been developing it since.
Okay. Well, I guess Trump feels the need to not wait because I think that's what Iran is doing, is just waiting until Trump's out, and then they will,
Well, I
continue the
mean,
process.
we already had an agreement prior to Trump being in office that led to this. Like the JCPOA prevented them from enriching uranium. Trump pulled us out of that. So I don't know why
So,
they're. What do you mean they're waiting for Trump to get out of office to what, negotiate?
well, how did the IAEA learn about 3 facilities that Iran did not disclose to them?
Oh, what facilities are you saying?
It's the one found in 2019. It starts
After
with
the
a T. I can't.
JCPOA?
Yes, after the JCPOA was ripped up.
Yep,
So my
by Trump.
question is, yep, by Trump, he ripped it up, he tore it up, threw it in the trash, yep, and burned it. But my question
Yep, so
is
that's what caused
a
that.
nice pivot. So you're pivoting
That's
because you know
literally
you let
what
me the
caused
dog
that.
walk.
And you're like, "Oh, why did they have new stuff?"
Here's
Well,
where the
because
dog
Trump ripped
walking
up the JCPOA.
begins. Here's where the dog walking begins, and you know it's
You've
about to
already
begin.
got
That's why
dog
you're
walked,
interrupting.
buddy. You
Dude,
just
so
got
the
repeatedly dog
JCPOA.
walked without even realizing.
So
I
where did
can't
the
even believe that you just got destroyed without even realizing. It's hilarious, actually.
dude? I'm setting you up. We haven't even started really.
Oh, I've already dog walked you. If we haven't started
How?
already, then you're just like
On what?
completely lost in the
On what? You
conversation.
asked a question. I answered the question.
What were we just talking about, sir?
Well, the first question was, can you name one thing that Trump sought out as a goal
As an
that he's
objective,
accomplished?
and you
And
couldn't name a single
yeah, it's an
objective.
objective, and I gave you an objective,
No,
which
you
is
didn't.
stop
The
Iran
objective
from
you
enriching
mentioned
uranium.
specifically was not an objective met through the war. It was
Then
an
how was it
objective
met?
already met prior to the war's existence. So explain one objective that the war met specifically.
So when Iran went and started messing around in those other facilities or started to build other facilities or not get the hint, that's when we went back in.
So what
So we are
objective
meeting at that
did the
objective
war that Trump started actually meet yet? The answer
to
is you don't
prevent,
have a single thing you can actually reference.
to knock out the Ayatollah and to prevent them from enriching uranium anymore.
Wait, but
They will not enrich uranium for any purpose now.
okay, so the objective was just to
But I
get
like
rid
how
of
you
the
pivoted
Ayatollah
away from the
when literally that
JCPOA.
changes no conditions for the people. So if it wasn't regime change, right, then what was the point?
Because
And
would
if
you like
those are
to?
the like, I just don't understand.
So
That's not like one of the objectives they outlined. One of the objectives they outlined would have been like getting rid of their ballistic missile program, or it would have been like
no,
preventing
no,
them from enriching
no,
uranium, or it would have
no.
been
Yes,
like,
yes, yes.
or
That's
it
what
would
we're
have been
doing.
like regime change.
Yes, that's
Not
what we're doing.
it's not just getting rid of the Ayatollah. That's not an objective.
But I want to go back to the JCPOA since I dog walked you on the first thing. Let's go back
You
to the
didn't dog walk me
JCPOA
on
because you know
anything,
this. You're
dude.
wrong.
Wait, what specific
Yes,
thing did you beat me on?
You asked me for one, and I gave you.
You
I gave
didn't.
you one
That's
objective
not an
that was met.
objective met
Show me one
through the
facility in
war.
Iran that is enriching uranium today. I show you in Iran where
That
they had
wasn't
facilities where
met
they
through
were
the
storing
war.
and enriching before February 28th. It was not met through the strikes last year.
It was.
So my question to you is now, how did the IAEA find out about Iran facilities that they didn't disclose to them, which they were supposed to do according to the JCPOA?
Well, that
What are
wasn't under the JCPOA. So,
those facilities?
like when Trump rips up the
Right. So
JCPOA, they're
as
going
a
to stop
goodbye,
abiding by
but
the JCPOA. Yeah, that of course
stop
makes
pivoting.
sense.
Parker, stop running. Parker, stop running.
I
Answer the
didn't.
question. How did the IAEA discover that? How did they discover these facilities that Iran
Well, I'm
didn't
not
disclose? How
quite
did they find
familiar
out?
on the methods they used to discover it. I'm assuming that there would probably be some sort of
They
satellite
found
imagery or
out.
something.
Yep, January 2018, before the JCPOA was ripped up. That's when the
What's your
intel came out.
source?
That's when they knew Iran was not being uh, Fox News, CNN, MSNBC.
I need a title.
Yeah,
The unicorns pointed it out.
it was
Unicorn news.
Israeli intel.
Unicorn news.
Yes.
So what's the source?
It really
Title.
doesn't matter who reported that. The
I
fact
need
is
the
that they
I need the
did.
title. I don't want
They
unicorn
did.
news. Can you give me the title? I don't want unicorn
I don't
news.
have a title off the top of my
Go
head.
ahead, look it up. I'll give you time.
Okay, so it's No, I don't need to look it up because
Yes, you do.
you can't answer the one question.
So your sources
How did
trust
the
me, bro?
IAEA discover
So
that
let me
Iran
just
did not
clarify.
disclose
I
their
already told you
facilities?
I'm not familiar with the reasons. I don't know why you keep asking the question. Can you answer
My
my
source
question?
is
What's
the
your source that
IAEA,
this even
Parker.
happened? What's the title? I'll
My
give you
source
time
is
to
the
look it up.
IAEA. The IAEA. The IAEA. How did they find out, Parker?
What was the title?
Because you know you're wrong and you're lying to your audience. That's why you're just running around in circles because you know
What?
you're cooked.
I'm asking you for the
Parker, how did the
source and a title for
IAEA
the
find
claim that you're
out?
making.
How did the IAEA? Dude, just tell me. How did the IAEA find out? How
I
did they
already told
discover
you I
this
don't know the answer
facility,
to the
these
question on the
facilities that
methods of
Iran didn't
how. I'm
disclose?
assuming it was through something
So
like
go look it up,
satellite.
Parker. So go look it up.
You're the
So
one
go
that.
look it up,
Wait, you
Parker.
want me to look that up? I didn't make the
The
claim. You made the
IAEA was
claim.
informed by the United States of America, and yes, I made the claim that the IAEA said Iran did not disclose their facilities.
So
Yes,
then
I did
what's
make
your
that claim
source?
because the IAEA made that claim.
What's
The
your source
IAEA,
specifically that it was within the context of the JCPOA that they had that particular
11
facility?
November 2. So 11 November 2019 is the first report that the IAEA released. Now
Isn't that after the JCPOA?
that is post JCPOA, but how long does it take to create these facilities, Parker? This
So I mean,
facility was
I
around
would like you to provide.
2014 or
Can you
before.
just give me the source? I'm waiting.
Yes, the IAEA dated 11 November 2019.
What's
The
the
other source
title?
is, I think it's in February of 2025. The title is, it's a long title, dude. It's like a whole sentence. So it's the date, if you do a Google search and look IAEA and just search for one day, which is 11 November 2019. And then in February of 2025, they also revalidate and verify and even more prove that Iran did not disclose those facilities.
I need a
So
source.
I'll leave you to
You
it,
made a
Parker.
claim.
This has been fun.
No, you're gonna leave. You're gonna
Dude,
run
I gave
away
you an
because you're
exact
scared.
date, man.
You're gonna run away because
I
you're
gave you
scared.
an exact date.
By the way, that's not
No,
giving
because you
me the
got cooked,
specifics.
Parker, and you got some homework to do.
Okay, I need you to
February
listen. I need you to
2025.
listen. I need you to listen. I muted your mic because you're just insufferable. Okay, I need you to actually give me a source that the enriched uranium was above the level in which they were supposed to, or that they had some undisclosed facility specifically that they were enriching uranium in prior to the JCPOAs being ripped up. You have no evidence, no source for that. And if you look at what the IAEA, what they said, specifically in 2019, it was enriched up to 3.67%, right? And there's no particular evidence of the fact that they enriched it above that level, which is, by the way, within the context in which they were able to, because it was up to 3.7% that they were able to. That's directly from the IAEA from July 1st, 2019. By the way, he just ran away. So he has no source, and he's just going to claim that. Dude, that's so cringe, bro. Why do Trump supporters run away like that? Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the screen. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I'm 18. I'm on a different account. You kicked me, bro. Why'd you kick me?
I don't know, but I'm going to kick you again. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
I love you, Parker.
Appreciate you. Let's go on the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria listed in the TikTok screen. We are just looking for some debates, everybody. Seriously, just looking for some debates. Alrighty, let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the screen. We're just looking for some debates, everybody. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the screen. Yo, what's up, how old are you?
Nigger.
You're disgusting. Let's go to the next individual. Yo, what's up, how old
If
are
you
you?
were 5 inches deep in Charlie Kirk and Charlie Kirk was...
You're disgusting. Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria listed in the TikTok screen. Let's get this next person up here. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria in the screen. Yo, what's up, how old are you?
28.
Do you support Trump?
Yeah.
Election held today, Harris versus Trump. Who would you rather vote for?
Probably Harris.
Okay. We'll go on to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the screen. For the person who said, I'm in Virginia and voted no, that's a horrible vote. Horrible vote. Vote yes if you're in Virginia. Vote yes if you're in Virginia. The fuck? Absolutely support the redistricting. Donald Trump is literally melting down right now. He's so pissed off because of the fact that we're doing this in Virginia. And do it to piss off Trump. Do it to piss off the guy in the Oval Office. Do it to help this country.
Nigga.
You're disgusting. What the fuck is wrong with you? Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the screen. Yo, what's up, how old are you?
Yo, I'm 18.
Do you support Trump?
Yup.
The election was held today, Harris versus Trump. Who would you rather vote for?
Trump.
What's your birth year?
Oh, wait.
What month?
February.
Okay. And why do you support Trump?
I feel he's a better candidate than Kamala in many
Kamala,
ways.
why so?
He's smarter. He has the balls to stand up for our country. He's not an idiot. He's a male. He's many reasons.
He is an idiot. He literally said that he drinks Diet Coke because it kills cancer, because it kills grass. He said we should look into disinfectant by injection
What
to
is
fight
that?
COVID-19. He said that we should nuke hurricanes to fight them. He said that... he said that if
Nukes aren't
Jesus-
even real, bro. You do realize it's all fear.
you're
It's all
trolling.
about control. Dude, no, I'm being...
Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria listed on the screen. Yo, what's up, how old are you?
Nigger.
You're disgusting. Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the screen. We're just looking for some debates. Yo, what's up, how old are you?
27, man. How's it going, Parker?
Do you support Trump?
I do.
The election were held today, Harris versus Trump. Who would you rather vote for?
Oh, definitely Donald Trump.
Okay, why do you support Trump?
Well, because first and foremost, he was better than the alternative.
What makes you think that?
Well, I mean, what I know, because when it comes to Kamala Harris, like we could look at a few statistics, right? Number one, she couldn't hold her interview on her own. Number two, she didn't have any policies to better the American people. Number three, she actually had to steal from Donald Trump in terms of, policies like no tax on tips and, things like that of some sort.
Okay, so agreeing upon policy doesn't mean you've stole policy. Secondly, like if you say that, then you're willing to say that Donald Trump stole that from Bernie because Bernie said it first. Along with the fact that she did have policy.
You said that, Parker.
She did have policy.
I'm glad you said that.
She did have policy, including the $6,000 child tax credit for the first year of a child's life, $3,600 through them being 5 years old, $3,000 through them being 18, a $25,000 tax credit for first-time home buyers for new homes, $2,000 cap on pharmaceuticals out of pocket,
Whoa.
$35
Slow down.
cap on
First
insulin
time?
per month. Those are all policies. You saying she has no policies
Right.
just means you did no research into her policies, which, by the way, she said at the debates. You claim that she couldn't hold an interview. She held multiple interviews, did fantastic in them.
No. Parker, slow down, man, because this is what Charlie pressed you on too, man.
When you say slow down, I was just responding to every single point that you made. So explain to me why it's okay for you to bring up multiple points, but I can't respond to those multiple points.
No, I didn't say that, Parker. I'm just saying. So when you say interviews, right? The first interview she held, who did she have alongside her?
You're talking about
No.
Tim Walz.
Well, yeah. Without typing or looking at the computer, Parker.
I'm writing down notes so that I don't have to cut you off, sir.
Okay, fair enough. So her first interview that she had, who was standing next beside her?
I told you already, Tim Walz.
Okay, so
did she do other interviews by herself?
She did not.
Yes, she did. You want to bet?
Are you talking about the one with Brett Baer?
Yeah, that's one she did by herself.
Yeah, yeah. How does she do on that?
I think she did great.
You think she did great?
Yeah, name one point she did bad on.
Well, when Brett Baer like pressed her on immigration,
What about
and
immigration?
well, in terms of the illegal border crossings and how many illegal people came over the border, and then she was like, well, I think that's a very important conversation that we needed to have about. And Brett Baer specifically came to the position where he said, "Look, can you give me a number? Can you just give me an estimate?
Yeah,
Like, just give
and
me
he
a
was he
ballpark."
was cutting her off and not even letting her respond. I just want to clarify.
No, 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 dude.
She
She
also went
simply
on.
could
I
not
just want to
answer.
clarify. That's not the only one. She also went on 60 Minutes. She went on other different interviews. You claiming that she didn't do any specific interviews is ridiculous.
Well, no, no, no. I didn't say that, man.
You know what? Why
I'm
why
saying that
why didn't Trump go and call her daddy?
no, 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 no. We're not. See,
Why
this
didn't
is what you
Trump
did.
go on call her
This is
daddy?
Parker. Come on now. This
No,
is
I
what you
want an
do with
answer. I
Charlie,
want an
man.
answer right now.
No,
Large platform. Why didn't Trump go and call her daddy?
Parker.
Was he scared? I think he was scared to go and call her daddy.
Who was?
Trump was scared to go and call her daddy. He didn't go on call her daddy
And why is that?
because he didn't go on. He never went on call her daddy.
No, no, no. So throughout his entire campaign, man, this man hold many, many interviews. Like he even went on an hour podcast with Joe Rogan, which, by the way, I'm pretty sure you're against now too, right? So when it comes to
Well, I mean,
Kamala Harris,
the
because
point that
again,
I'm actually making is that like, oh,
what are you
people are
making?
like, oh, why didn't Kamala Harris go on Joe Rogan? Why didn't Donald Trump go on call her daddy?
Whoever said that I told her that, or whoever said that I said that she
Well,
needed to
you're
go on
like,
Joe
oh, she
Rogan,
didn't do
man.
these interviews. Like, I gave you multiple examples of
Dude,
interviews that she did. Why are you not acknowledging this?
because the interviews that she did do, I mean, she was very like, that's what I'm saying. Like, getting back to the Brett Baer situation, man. Like, because I mean, you you basically moved the goalpost and you were talking about completely
Can
something
you
else.
name one
So
hostile interview that Trump went on?
hostile?
Yeah.
What do you mean?
Can you name one interview that he went on that was hostile? Like where someone disagrees with them vehemently, like kind of how Kamala Harris went on Fox News, right? Like, can you give me one example of Trump doing something with someone he vehemently disagrees with?
No.
Why wouldn't Trump go on an opposing platform interview? Because I can give you an example of Kamala Harris going on Call Her Daddy, but you wouldn't take that as an example of her actually going on like and doing an interview because, oh, that's someone that's on her side. Well, then why don't you
And
apply
you
that
removed the
same sort of
goalpost against
mentality?
Brett Baer,
Why don't you
Parker.
apply that same mentality to Trump? Why wouldn't Trump do an interview?
What?
Trump couldn't hold an interview with an opposing
Dude, he did more
interviewer?
interviews during his election campaign than Kamala Harris did
Name
in like
one
an
he did
entire
with an
year, man.
opposing interviewer.
An opposing interviewer? Name one person that asked him to come on his platform.
Call Her Daddy. Me.
But Parker, you could barely handle Charlie, man, and you think you could
I
talk to the
destroyed Charlie
president?
Kirk. What are you talking about?
No, no, you didn't.
Yeah, I
What
did.
are you talking about? Are you talking about when you drove all the way from California to talk to him at
I
Utah
live in
or where?
California.
Right, I know that, Parker. So which because you
You mean
actually went to
I went from
multiple.
California to another place in California?
No, I didn't say that, Parker. I'm saying you drove all the way from California to talk to Charlie Kirk at one of his rallies. Did you not?
Yeah, that was in California.
No, no, it wasn't.
Yes, it was. The
Were
one I
you
talked
asked
to him at, that one was in
about
California.
the Bible, and everything?
Yeah, that was in California.
No, no, it wasn't, man.
Yes, it was. You want to bet?
Yeah,
How much? $1,000.
that $1,000, man.
Yep. That where I
The one
talked to him
where
there.
the one where
That was
the
in
one where the
California.
one the one where Charlie Kirk was talking about. You're so thirsty for clicks right now.
Yep, that's in California.
Where was that Turning Point USA event held?
California.
Where? No,
California State
Where in
University, Northridge. You want to take that $1,000 bet?
I don't. Well, I mean, I probably am wrong on that, but I mean,
That's what I thought.
you.
That was in California. So I drove from California to another place in California. Woo! Wow, what an own. What an own. Wow, a dog walked. Wow, Parker got dog walked. Everybody, look at that. Wow, he drove from LA to another part of LA, actually. Wow, Parker owned, actually. He drove from one part of LA to another part of LA. Wow, so crazy. I didn't actually expect that one. Hey, buddy, come back into the app. Make your point. Come back here. Is he running away? No way. He ran away. Oh. Dude, wow, look, Lib just got owned. Liberal just got owned, everybody. I came onto his platform and I told him that he went from one place in Los Angeles to another, actually. Owned. Get owned, liberal. That didn't happen in California. I think the one he's thinking about is in UVU, where I showed up to debate people at UVU and then also debate Charlie Kirk, but I never talked to him. So... on that day, the one I talked to him was in California. Let's go to the next individual. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
46.
Do you support Trump?
Yes.
If the election were held today, Harris versus Trump, who would you rather vote for?
Trump.
Okay. Let me thank some people real quick, and then we can go on to our conversation. Laurie, think of the $2. Happy birthday to Asher, by the way. Happy birthday to Asher. W's for Asher in the comment section. Danny, thank you for the $1. I actually did see that. I reported on it actually yesterday. Grace as well. Thank you for the $5. Thank you very much, Grace. I really appreciate it. Thank you. As well as I wet. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you for the $20. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. For callers, if your mother was a victim of sexual exploitation, would you high five the guy? Support women, believe victims, seek justice. Thank you, Parker, for all that you do. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Good W's for them in the comment section right now. Thank you very much. If you want to support me as always, Venmo, PayPal, Linktree in the bio, as well as the description of the YouTube, as well as you can support me over YouTube Super Chat as always. Alrighty, why do you support Donald Trump? Dave, you're muted. You muted yourself. Hello? You muted yourself, Dave. You have to click the microphone in the bottom right. You have apparently swiped out of the app now? Oh. I don't think he's running. I think he just probably doesn't know how to use the technology. Just swipe back into the app. You have to be into the app. And then click on the microphone in the bottom right. Dave, are you there, man? I can't hear you. You haven't done what I said to do. You got to come back into TikTok. You have to see me in order for me to be able to hear you. Oh, they just left. Okay, I guess Dave didn't want to talk to me. Dave, if you're still here, send a guest request, and I'll accept you back up. I'll look for you in the guest box, Dave. I don't see you in the guest box right now. If you want to talk to me, send a guest request back. I'll try to look for you. Well, let's go to the next individual, everybody. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the screen, everyone. We're just looking for some debates, everyone. Just looking for some debates. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Hello?
Nigger.
You're disgusting. Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that set of criteria listed on the TikTok screen, everybody. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Hello?
How old are you? Bruh, that guy was like literally so far behind. I heard the stream. Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the screen. Alrighty, let's get this next person up here. You know, Dave is still not in the box. Dave just left. Dave gave up. Okay. Okay. Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the screen. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Nutella.
Only send a guest. Oh, wait, Dave's back. Dave, you there?
Had to take a work call, bro. I'll come
Gotcha.
back in. Sorry.
Okay, for sure.
Bye.
Alrighty. Alrighty. Dave got a work call. Okay, let's go on to the next individual. Harley, by the way, thank you so much for the $20. Thank you very much on Venmo. Give me some W's for Harley in the comment section right now for the $20 on Venmo. Thank you so much. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Let's go to the next individual, everybody. Alrighty, let's get this next person up here. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria listed on the TikTok screen, everybody. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Paka killed Charlie.
Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria listed in the TikTok screen. We're just looking for some debates, everybody. Please, everyone, only send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the screen. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
When did you last shit?
Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria listed on the TikTok screen, everybody. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Nigger.
You're disgusting. Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria in the screen. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Oh, yo, Parker, how's it? I'm 20.
Do you support Trump?
Well, it's a great area. I do not have any one I could certainly say that I do support entirely.
Okay. Let's go to the next individual, everybody. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the screen. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Yo.
Yeah, how old are you?
18.
And do you support Trump?
Duh.
And what's your birth year?
2007.
And what month?
June.
Okay, and if the election were held today, Harris versus Trump, who would you rather vote for?
Trump.
Okay, why do you support Trump?
Because red's better than blue.
But, like, why?
I don't know.
Okay, let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the screen. Yo, what's up? How old are you? Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the screen. Wait, hello? I hear you breathing. Oh my god. There's someone added and I can't. I hear you typing. I can literally hear you typing, by the way. Can you leave the live real quick? I hear you breathing and typing. I can literally just hear you chilling there. They're gone. We're good. I could just... Did anyone else hear that? Yeah, what's up? How old are you? Let's go to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the screen. Yeah, at least they were like paying attention and they could just like respond to that too quickly. Can you imagine that being you? Like you're accidentally added? That's got to be like scary, dude. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
33.
Do you support Trump?
Yes.
Okay. If the election were held today, Harris versus Trump, who would you rather vote for?
Trump.
Okay. Why do you support Trump?
Well, I think he's done a far better job than any of the Democratic candidates of the last few years, especially the Harris and Biden ticket.
Okay. And what makes you think that?
Well, I think the border crossings have gone down, illegal border crossings. That's number one. Number two, I think economically speaking, if you're talking about people's 401ks in the stock market have done far better under Trump, which is important for retiring. No taxes on tip and overtime is a big one, especially for the blue collar and working class people of this country. Yeah, those are just a couple of the small things that I think have been a big improvement.
Okay, so the no tax on tips and no tax on overtime deductions, those are small parts of the big beautiful bill, which, I mean, I think that are good, but I think that don't, make up for the impact that's negative across the board and is something that's bipartisan, supported by both sides, Republicans and Democrats, so Democrats would have advocated for that under their administration as well. Along with the fact that you say 401ks have done better. That's seemingly not true. If you look at S&P 500 and Dow Jones growth, it's actually lower in 2025 than what it was in 2024. Along with the fact that in terms of undocumented border crossings going down, I actually don't see that as any material benefit to the American people as a whole. I think making the legal process for immigration go quicker and addressing the border in terms of the bipartisan border bill would have been a better set of conditions than what we currently have right now under the Trump administration. So I see no real material impact in terms of that. That's beneficial. So I guess that's all I have in response to that.
What negative impact do you think it has, slowing down border crossings?
Wait, say that one more time?
What negative impact do you think the border crossings have, of lowering the border crossings have on this country? Because if you're saying it's not a good thing that he's doing it, what makes it not good? I don't understand what you think it's not. How does that not benefit the country? By trying to organize people getting here legally and slowing down the process a little bit until we get it right. What's the negative side to that?
Negatively impacts GDP. It's going to negatively impact tax revenues. It's also going to be costly to deport people rather than to allow them to stay in the country. There's also a negative.
How is that going to impact?
I also haven't finished.
I don't understand that.
What's that?
But I want to stop you before I forget what you said, because you said it's going to negatively impact tax income. I don't understand how that correlates.
Yeah. But when you deport people, you lose tax revenue.
If they're here illegally?
Yeah, even undocumented immigrants pay taxes into the system. Plus, if you had a legal pathway for them to stay in the country, they would pay more into the system as well, even comparative to what they're paying right now as an undocumented immigrant.
I'm sorry, but I don't think him slowing down the process and deporting illegal people is gonna affect that.
What? You don't think deporting undocumented immigrants will reduce the level in which they're paying in terms of tax revenue?
No. I mean, it won't impact people coming here legally. If we can straighten out the border and get it to where people have a path to citizenship, slow it down so we don't have people illegally coming here. If they didn't come here illegally and we made it easier for them to come here legally, then we wouldn't have to deport all that people. The reason that happened was because of the democratic standpoint of let's have open borders and let these people in. I understand.
We never advocated for open borders. That's dishonest and a straw man.
But if you look at the numbers, that it was, you're right. Using that terminology may be wrong. However, the border crossings were substantially higher during the Biden and Harris administration.
Yeah, but
that's all I'm trying to say.
What did they do to cause that?
What do you mean?
What did they do to cause that?
They didn't have the right border security and have it done correctly, which was Biden's.
Wait, so did they do something to reduce the level of border security?
I don't think they've done enough in terms of border security.
So no, wait, did they reduce the level of border security?
Yes, I think they did.
They did? How so?
Didn't they reverse policies that Trump tried to push through in the first term?
Which ones?
Not only that, Congress.
Which ones?
Tried to block. Congress. I'm going to tell you. Congress blocked. Don't you remember the big press conference that Trump had during his first term with Nancy and Chuck, where they tried to block his border bill, where he wanted to build a wall, and they wouldn't give him funding to build the wall because they wanted to put forth a bill that they thought was better border security. And Trump said, we can't have border security without the wall and the way that I want to do it. So he was running into roadblocks in that way there. And Biden continued that with Harris in charge of the border as the border czar, which now we have Tom.
You're just making claims that you don't have to answer my question.
I'm not making claims. That happened. Did it not?
So what was my question?
Did Congress not? Your question was, what did Biden do to reduce border security?
Yeah.
He didn't put forth the same bill that Trump tried to push during his first term.
So he maintained the same level of border security that Trump had?
I don't think so.
Okay, so then what did he do to reduce border security? So then what did he do to reduce border security?
Just because I may not have the specifics doesn't mean that the numbers lie. The numbers were that we had more illegal border crossings during Biden's administration than both of Trump's administrations, right or wrong?
Okay, there were more border crossings, but you're saying it's due to an action of the Biden-Harris administration, and you're saying it's because they reduced border security. What did they do to reduce border security?
You're playing semantics now, and I don't like.
I'm not playing
these games.
semantics. I'm getting you to justify what you've said.
I'm just going by what the numbers are. I don't have the specifics of what Biden did wrong.
I understand, but if you don't know what he did to cause that, then you can't claim that it's his fault. The same way that you can't say that for example, under the Trump administration, there was 14.5% unemployment. Okay, I don't blame Trump because of that. Why? Because it was COVID.
Yeah, but apples and bowling balls are two totally different.
Yeah, but what did the Biden administration do to cause this? You can't just say it happened under the administration, therefore it's their fault.
I think by not keeping up border security the way Trump wanted to is what caused that.
Wait, but they didn't do anything to reduce border security. So they maintained the same level that existed under Trump's administration, and you're complaining?
No, because the Democrats didn't allow him to get past the bill he wanted to get past to finish building the border wall and have tighter security and allow.
You know that the bipartisan border bill that they advocated for under their administration would have built more wall than Trump ever built under his entire administration? And he undermined that bill because he didn't want the Democrats to get a win on the border?
Well, I'll agree that's bullshit then.
Okay, but that's what Donald Trump did, and it would have built more wall than Trump ever built. So if you care about that being addressed, then why do you support Trump?
Say Trump is, because I still think that overall his policies are better for the working class Americans than what Democrats lead you to believe. And on top of that,
how so? Can you name one policy that he's influencing it past that has benefited working class Americans more than it's benefited the rich?
No tips on tax or overtime.
That's actually in the Big Beautiful Bill. Most of the Big Beautiful Bill goes to the rich individuals, the top 1%. So actually, do you want to address any specific bill that he's passed that has disproportionately helped the lower income and middle class more than it's helped the rich?
I will, but you mentioned helping the rich, and let me tell you why that's a slippery slope. Because if you look at what Mandami's doing in New York City, which I'm originally from Brooklyn, I live in upstate New York now, but what Mandami's doing, trying to tax the rich at ridiculous rates compared to what he wants to tax. Don't get me wrong, I'm all for tax cuts for the middle class, but what's going to happen is, and it's already starting to happen, is when you tax the rich, they leave New York City, and they're already paying more tax than the middle class.
When are they going to leave?
Oh, they're leaving already.
They've already left. Well, then why is rent still high?
What do you mean? Why is rent still high?
Yeah, if they're leaving, that would mean that they're selling their properties, right?
You're going to say that every landlord in New York City is rich?
Well, no, the specific ones are over $5 million. The increase in tax. It's on properties over $5 million.
Right, and some of those properties are housing businesses, small businesses that are owned by blue collar people. And once you have those businesses leave, for example, I used to live in Marine Park on Flatbush Avenue. There were so many storefronts closing because of the Democratic policies, and not just Mandami, but because of what Eric Adams has done over the past.
Okay, so then people were already leaving?
Yes, and they're going to leave even more.
Okay, so then is there any actual evidence, or is it just like you anecdotally claim? And by the way, this is a complete pivot away from what I was originally talking about. I wonder why you're not addressing what I was originally talking about.
Because you brought this up. You brought.
What did I bring up? I didn't bring up Mom Donnie.
You brought up taxes, and you brought up cutting taxes or Trump cutting taxes only for the rich. And I
brought up how the Big Beautiful Bill mostly went to the rich and wealthy because I was asking you for a specific policy that benefited the lower middle class more than it benefited the rich, and you can't mention a single one.
I did. I said no taps on tips or no.
That's in the Big Beautiful Bill, which mostly goes to the rich.
Mostly,
the sheep.
But it still benefits.
I asked you for one policy that mostly benefited the middle class and working people more than it benefited the rich. And you gave me a policy that mostly helped the rich. Give me one single policy that Trump passed that mostly benefited working class people more than it benefited the rich.
Oh, hold on. Yeah, the one Big Beautiful Bill is one. Because
no, it's not. That mostly goes to the rich. You're lying.
The 2017 Tax Cuts and Jobs Act
mostly goes to the rich,
which includes lower tax rates and
but it mostly goes to the rich. I'm asking you for what? When can you give me a single policy that went mostly to working class people rather than the rich?
Where's your source that mostly goes to the rich? Because you're always asking people for sources.
Yeah, the Congressional Budget Office.
Okay, but what part of the big beautiful bill mostly benefit? How does it mostly benefit?
The reductions in,
That's my
in
question.
progressive income tax that disproportionately come from the rich.
But you're not giving me a specific now.
I did. Reductions in progressive income tax.
I know that my
reductions in corporate tax, changing it from being a progressive structure to being a flat tax.
Okay, how does that hurt? How does that hurt the middle class?
Because it raises corporate tax for income under 50,000.
I haven't seen my taxes go up. Like I said,
it did
earlier.
It went up if you own a business and you make under $50,000, you make up to 50,000 on your income up to 50,000 with your business. You pay a 6% higher rate under Trump than what you paid under Obama. It was 15% under Obama, 21% under Trump, flat for everybody. So someone making $100 million is paying as the same as you.
I'm not sure that's true because
it is.
Are you a fan of Bill Maher? Yes or no?
No.
Why not?
There's a whole million things. Why are we pivoting to everything but answering my questions?
Because Bill Maher brought up a specific point recently about how that Obama raised taxes more than Clinton did, than George W. Bush did, and now you're trying to claim that Trump is raising taxes.
But for what levels of income?
It's a straight up lie.
But for what levels of income?
For people, they all raise taxes on the rich, right? Which then,
so it was on the rich. So Trump raised taxes on the working class, right? Because he imposed tariffs.
I don't see. Well, I've heard you. I heard you say that earlier because I was listening into the live, and I don't know how tariffs are directly correlated to the middle class. That doesn't make sense to me.
It taxes everybody, disproportionately the working class, because they spend a greater proportion of their income on consumer goods comparative to the rich. So if you increase the cost of consumer goods, it disproportionately hurts working class people.
I think the long-term plan for that is in order to bring factories and businesses back to America. So
Hasn't
that they don't
happened.
have to pay that tax by shipping goods. He's only been in office for
We've seen a decline in real domestic manufacturing investment every single quarter of Trump's administration.
Yes, quickly. Yes, short term. Sometimes things hurt short term in order to...
Well, the policy is not even going to be in place in the long run.
And that's a sad commentary. We shouldn't be paying...
Who can say where the road goes?
Isn't Trump's whole idea on tariffing countries, especially China, is that we import so much goods for them that we'd rather be exporting and making money instead of paying other countries for goods that we can easily make here? That's the idea behind it.
If the consumers would rather do something else, they would be doing it. This is the market. They decided to buy the products from other countries. That's how the consumer market works. You're trying to force them to not do that.
So you support child labor and buying things from China rather than trying to get things made in America?
If you want to address child labor or anything that exists around the world, which is bad labor standards, the way to address that is by making tariffs specific to those companies. If you place it on the entire country as a whole, you're actually creating conditions like that to a greater extent because you're creating an incentive for businesses within those countries to reduce labor standards to still compete, given the imposition of the tariff still being in place. So actually, you're creating worse off standards, and you're actually going to create more child labor by the policies you're advocating for without even realizing it.
So, since you say, every time you start these conversations, you say you support Biden or Harris, Trump or Harris, who would you vote for if the vote was today? So why would you vote for Harris if she would choose to do nothing regarding bringing businesses back to America?
I think that the Biden-Harris administration brought back real domestic manufacturing investment to a significant high extent. Actually, the infrastructure bill, the Inflation Reduction Act, and the CHIPS and Science Act increased the amount that we brought back in terms of domestic manufacturing to this country to rates that we haven't seen in decades.
Why did Biden say he regretted calling it the Inflation Reduction Act?
Because it wasn't mainly to reduce inflation. It was mainly to build up renewable energy production, increase revenues through the IRS, and make it so that we're independent in terms of energy to a greater extent.
And don't you think it's also because he didn't lower inflation?
Didn't I just say that, dumbass?
Right, but my point is he didn't lower inflation. He didn't bring businesses back to America. That's my point.
And Trump is trying to real domestic manufacturing investment heavily increased. Do you want me to show you?
You can if you really want to. That's up to you.
Okay.
You do know that Trump did see a 4.3% real GDP growth in 2025.
Say that one more time.
You can look this up too while you're doing after you're done with that. That Trump did achieve a 4.3% real GDP growth in 2025, initiating large-scale deportation.
Nope, that wasn't in 2025 as a whole. You're talking about one quarter. Overall, it was actually 2.2%, which was lower than the 2.8% it was in 2024. Okay, so take a look. Yeah, and take a look at the Bureau of Economic Analysis and actually read the information you're looking at. Okay, here's when Biden got in office, right here.
Mm-hmm.
Here's when Biden left office, right here. Okay?
Right.
Trump, since he's got in office, look at this.
What's the date? Can you zoom in on that? What's the date where it starts to drop?
When Trump was getting elected. So going through quarter 3 to quarter 4 after massive growth under the Biden administration. So quarter 4 ends the very end of 2024. So this is going to be once Trump was elected until the end of that quarter. So that's all the quarter that people were expecting tariffs to come about. Mm-hmm. So that's actually what I would expect to be the cause of that decline. But every single quarter since then has declined, and it's even declined at a higher rate than what it previously was declining at after, again, massive growth under the Biden administration. Like, this is massive decline, even greater than what it was originally for that one quarter. Like, literally all growth, one quarter decline. But that's the quarter that we would expect to see differences because of the fact that tariffs were likely to come about because Trump got elected.
Yeah, but because he got elected and having his policies actually see through only after a year is not really, it's not really a good study on his full administration yet, is it?
I mean, not on the full administration, but it is evidence specifically that the main thing that he wanted to do isn't happening. And also his tariffs are going to go away soon. So, like, you understand this is all declined since his tariffs have been implemented. In the first year of Biden's administration, you had growth. Look, this is where we were.
But that's also, which I've heard you admit before, that's also partially because COVID was ending and people were going back to work.
No, because you would say that it would mainly get up to this. This is what it was prior to COVID, was right here. Uh-huh. So it could get up to 71. You could expect it maybe to get, I guess, around here the first year, yeah. It'd be back to what it was with COVID, but after that, it was all growth.
I think the beginning incline of that growth was certainly...
Yeah, I think 2020. I think you could say that for 2021, up to the end of 2021 was about the growth that we saw from prior to COVID. But then we saw that continual growth through 2022 and 2023 with the Inflation Reduction Act, the Infrastructure Bill, and the CHIPS and Science Act. That's when Biden's policies passed and got put into effect and went up. So you understand that Donald Trump's policies have already been under effect under his own ideas and are not going to be in effect any further, because of the fact that they've been deemed to be unconstitutional. So we had to do it through some sort of other law, which then caused it to only be in place for it's supposed to only be in place for 100 days or so, 150 days. And then Congress will vote on it and not pass it.
Well, I think that the Congress thing, it is what it is. Every administration is going to deal with trying to get their stuff pushed through, and depending on who the majority is.
Yeah, but he's not even trying to do that. He just did through executive.
He tried to do a lot through executive, as every president does when they get elected.
Not as much as he did more than others for executive.
Well, I'll agree with that, and he's a very ambitious person for trying that. And that doesn't necessarily mean that all those things are going to happen. I mean, he did get some things shut down by the Supreme Court. Shit happens. What are you going to do? But there's a lot, man. I just feel that the Democratic Party from back, let's say, even in the Obama days and before that, was slightly more centrist and moderate than they are today. And I could say the same about Republicans. However,
it's a lot more extreme with Republicans.
I disagree with that.
Really? You don't think that Trump trying to undermine our elections in 2020 and deny the results of the 2020 election calls for the execution of some Democrats because they said to follow the law and to not follow unlawful orders? You don't think that's so much more extreme?
I think Bernie Sanders, during his whole thing, both times he ran for president, was screaming that the elections are rigged, the system is rigged, over and over again.
You said
and
Bernie
nobody
Sanders?
batted an eye. Yes, I said Bernie Sanders.
Okay. I don't think he claimed that the election was rigged in the same way that Trump did.
Maybe not in the same way, but he was out there screaming it at every freaking rally that he had.
No, he wasn't.
He was. Really, Parker, pull up a video, say, Bernie, just look up anywhere on YouTube Bernie Sanders saying the election is rigged. He said it a billion times.
Wait, I want you to provide me the clip.
Okay.
Him saying our system is corrupt is not him saying that the election in of itself was rigged.
The process is rigged. Because of
And I also would dispute that. Say he makes that claim, I would disagree with that. Because in 2020, he lost also.
He did, and he said the system was rigged because of
He didn't say it was rigged in 2020. When you say rigged because of lobbyists, that makes sense. Like, because of the fact that corporate lobbyists are able to influence the system to get what they want passed to a greater extent. They have disproportionate control over our system. Now, that's not saying that the election itself was rigged. That's saying that there's disproportionate influence of private, corporations over our political sphere. And I agree with that, actually.
I understand what you're saying, but just to say that Trump is the only one that claims that our election process is rigged is asinine. That doesn't make sense. Because Bernie...
Wait. Do you agree that Trump claiming the election was rigged in 2020 is a big issue? And that's the main person in the party that got 70% of the Republican Party to believe the election was stolen in 2020? What percent of the Democratic Party believed the election was rigged in 2016 or 2020?
I don't think that the Republicans actually believe that.
70% of the Republican Party believed that.
Yeah, they said that, but they're just saying that because they want a Republican in the office. They're not. I don't think
they actually believed it. These are polls on what they actually believed. And by the way, I talked to people. People definitely did believe that. There are still a lot of people to this day that believe that. So.
I don't. I think Trump lost. Trump.
Well, I think that we can both agree on that. But you understand that Donald Trump undermining the election is absolutely, unequivocally undermining our Constitution, our rule of law, and our democracy, and is fundamentally extremist. Okay, you cannot act like there has not been an extreme difference between Romney and McCain versus what we see now with Trump. That's a radical difference, way more radical than what you see in terms of a difference between Biden and Harris versus Obama. I can't even fathom that you actually thought it was a similar difference between the two.
There's certainly a similarity between the two. I'm not.
No, it's not. Not even close.
Exactly the same.
Not even fucking close.
You said that Trump said the election was rigged, and Bernie said the same thing. Their ideas on how
Bernie didn't say the same thing, and also Bernie didn't get 70% of the Republican Party or Democratic Party to believe that. And Bernie's not the leading candidate in the party.
He was pretty close. I think he should.
Of course, he was close. I'm not disputing you there.
I'll tell you right now, if he was there instead of Hillary in 2016, he would have won that election.
I hope so.
But
you just got a misinformation flag, meaning I got to hit a restart. So. Alrighty, everybody. I got to hit a restart here on TikTok. I'll be right back here on TikTok. All I have to do is click the profile picture in the top left, click it again. And when it gets a little bit larger, refresh on my account here in 10 seconds. I'll be right back here on TikTok. For people on YouTube, you get to stay around. There's no issue there. Literally, it's just a TikTok thing because I got a second flag. I do have a few people to thank real quick, though. Vanessa, thank you so much for the $20, by the way. Thank you so much. She said that was totally me breathing and typing. My phone was by my keyboard. Accidentally joined. Sorry. Don't worry at all, Vanessa. Don't worry. That's really funny. Thank you so much. I really appreciate Vanessa. As well as Chandler. Thank you so much for the $20. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Thank you very much. I don't know. I feel like that's a hard one. Tatsu, probably. But thank you so much, Chandler. Alrighty. I'm going to go on and restart the live here on TikTok.
Parker,
this is Liv's
she's
grandma.
So mad at you. She's so mad at you, bro. She said she's not going to debate you.
She's not going to debate me? Will she debate Dean?
Listen, I talked to her. No, stop. She said until you stop using GP, I don't even know what it, GTP, GPT. And I tried to tell her, I said,
have you spoken to her grandma? Have we heard her grandma? Or is this just another laboratory?
Yeah, no. I'm actually serious, Dean. I talked to her grandma yesterday.
Oh, she's interesting.
Liv is actually liberal, and her grandma, what's it called? Her grandma is very MAGA. I'm not trolling, Dean. I'm actually being serious. This is I actually talked to her yesterday.
She said
I know that she's liberal because I saw her absolutely frying this.
No, I'm not. I would never do that.
You fried the dude. Come on, own it. You fried him. It was actually pretty good.
No.
I'm not even joking. You fucking fried him.
Oh, thank you. But basically, she said that her friend saw it on like Facebook or something, or one of her friends shared it to her, the live stream through Facebook, and she said that you put her up there to make her look like an idiot, and I was like, oh no, like that's so bad, like I would never do that. And now she's like really angry at me because she thinks that I put her up there to make her look like an idiot, which was the plan. Like that was like the goal of the conversation, because I've tried to get her to stop being a Trump supporter, but she's like really mad.
But she won't debate me or Dean. Will
She said once
debate
you
Dean?
stop using AI.
Oh, well, I don't use AI, so just tell her I don't anymore.
Would you debate me?
Dean, you're mean. You're really mean.
Oh, boo.
Hello.
Okay, so she won't talk to us anymore.
I mean, I think I could get her to no. If she said once you stop using AI.
But just tell her I'm not using it anymore.
Oh, okay. That's simple. Yeah, I can just do that.
Yeah.
Okay, bet.
Alrighty.
Hey.
What? Let's go on to the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the screen, everybody. We're just looking for some debates. Thank you for the $10. Yes, the Save Act hasn't gotten through. Danielle, thank you so much for the $5. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Literally, with the appeal, she won the appeal. Let's go on the next individual. Only send a guest request if you meet that criteria on the screen, everybody. Yo, what's up? How old are you?
Me?
Yeah.
42, California.
Do you support Trump?
I guess, yeah.
Like if the election were held today, Harris versus Trump, who would you rather vote for?
Trump.
Okay, why do you support Trump?
Because he owns you guys.
How so?
So I want you to think about this. I would imagine that you guys don't like Trump. Do you guys hate Trump? I mean, because it's fair to say you guys hate Trump, or you just don't like him. I mean, what classification would you say that you hold Trump at?
I accept that I hate.
Okay, that's fair, right? I want you to think about this. I mean, Dean, I've seen it with you, dude. Like, I've seen your posts, like, and you guys post, like, you guys do 7 days a week right now?
Yeah.
Yeah. And think about how much you hate Trump so much. And I want you to think about how many times you say the word Trump every day, dude. Like, you may think that hang on, let me finish, and then I'll let you guys finish. And Dean, I see it in you, dude. Like, you look like, and I'm no offense, I'm not trying to think, but it looks like you may be battling some depression at times. And I'm not judging you, but I have a feeling when you clock off and you're there outside this TikTok realm that you're battling some things, dude, that you don't talk about. Maybe I'm wrong, but it looks like it.
Well, yeah, you're wrong. But
okay. But anyway, I want you to think about this. I want you to think about this seriously, because I want you to think how much Donald Trump thinks about you guys, right? How many times does he say the word Dean or Parker out of his mouth every day? It's probably like zero, right?
But he says Democrats a lot.
I know. So think about this.
He would say Biden all the time. So like, did he love Biden?
But think about this though. For you guys though, but think about this for you guys. You guys have something, it's like you're almost trapped in something because you hate something so much.
Billy, he's the fucking president, Billy.
Listen, I don't care.
He's like literally the president.
Matter, dude.
We're saying his name because we're arguing against the president.
I know, but you're
I have some thoughts here that
in
I'd
your
like to add on
brain
at some
though.
point.
But listen,
Go ahead.
in your brain, you have trapped yourself in something that you hate. So even though you think you cooked someone, I just cooked this Trump supporter, I just cooked him. You didn't, dude. Because that Trump supporter argued with you for 20 minutes and he's going to go do.
Hey, Billy, I just want to let you know, I love destroying MAGA ideology. I find so much meaning and purpose in destroying the ideology and getting more people to turn liberal. And that's what I get. That's what I find meaning and happiness out of.
Parker, what do you do? So your life, like my life, like I know you guys don't care and I don't care. Like I race cars, dude.
I don't give a shit what you do.
I know. So what do you do? I'm asking you. I care about what you do. Parker, what do you do with your life? Do you go baseball games? What do you do other than Trump?
I do nothing. I do nothing.
Exactly.
I just all I do is I stare at a wall all day and I do nothing. I just stare at the wall.
So Trump, that's what I was telling you. Trump owns you guys. You don't realize it.
I go on live and then I just stare at the wall.
Yeah, Trump owns you guys.
Billy, can I tell you what I do?
Yes, I know you play piano. I will say I watched you play piano, Dean, and I do respect that.
I have a big emphasis on music, but more than that, outside of the live streams, I just focus on physical health and fitness.
Okay.
I go to the gym 5 to 6 days a week. I track like all of my caloric intake. I have a huge new emphasis on cardio now. Like outside of the live streams, right? Like my goal is in the next 2 years just to become like a fucking athlete, low key. So that's kind of what I spend my time doing is training to be a pretty good athlete within my cardiovascular and physical strength. And then I spend time with my girlfriend. But listen, let me tell you what my thoughts here on your argument. I get it. Under typical scenarios, when you see somebody that just spends their entire day talking about somebody else and they just will explicitly admit to hating them, right? Like in like typical scenarios, like that's going to be a pretty like, I don't know, right? Like sad person, right? You know, they need to go get a life, right? But I think what I want to communicate to you is that these aren't typical scenarios. There's nothing wrong whatsoever with hating people that have engaged in actions such as rape or sexual exploitation or bombing schoolgirls and killing 160 of them or fucking a country over and trying to end the body of governance through an attempted coup to end the American Republic / democracy. Like, there's nothing wrong with hating somebody like that. So now that, I've given you really good reason to believe there's nothing wrong with hating somebody like that, now I got to convince you that there's nothing wrong with spending your day, funneling that hate into a more productive dialogue with other people that don't hate them to try to change their minds. Well, when this really bad person that's done all these really bad things doesn't just hold power, but holds the most power that any human alive could potentially hold by being the president of the world's largest country by GDP and military size, it is absolutely a productive, healthy thing to attempt to convince other people to not support this person when we live under a constitutional republic where the social support for or against this politician matters and can directly influence material change. Like, that is a productive thing to spend your life trying to directly influence positive material change for the world around you. This is why we don't shit on doctors. They save lives. This is why we don't shit on teachers. They teach kids. Okay? And I'm not saying I'm a doctor or a teacher, but what I will say is in a different way, me and Parker also attempt to influence real positive material change by making the system of governance that doesn't just preside and influence over America, but over the world better for everybody. And because of that, I just don't think that I'm some crazy low-life lunatic for hating this guy and spending 4 hours a day describing why.
Do you think you're obsessed with Trump?
I don't have an
No.
obsession with Trump. I have an obsession with the betterment of we the people.
But how many times?
He just so happens to be a distraction to that obsession of the betterment and flourishment of humanity. Okay, that's my obsession. My obsession is making things better for people on Earth, and he is an impediment upon that goal.
Right. So I can say this, that there's probably things in this world that I hate as much as you guys hate Trump, right? And I can't imagine waking up every day trying and saying that word over 800 times a day, trying to get someone to realize what I'm thinking. It just seems miserable.
There's nobody
I mean,
that
you
hate
think
with
that's
as much
miserable,
direct power
but
and influence as Trump.
It just seems miserable.
What do you do for work, Billy?
I do what you guys do. I have a media company in California.
Okay, so you do
Well,
lives every day,
had a
or
magazine.
what specifically do you do in terms of work?
Okay,
on
so
a daily basis.
I had a magazine, and then I have a social page. It reaches about 10 million people a month.
Okay, but
Not like
what
you
do you
guys.
do? What type of stuff do you cover?
And I have clients, right? So I have businesses that I do stuff for.
And what do you
manage social
cover?
We're more conservative stuff, causing our fuel to go way up. Are you familiar with PG&E, how they've ripped off Californians and they've been allowed to do that?
So I am familiar specifically with some of the issues that are happening, but what you're not acknowledging is that we need some sort of structure in terms of reform to help out working class people that relies on the government's influence to cause that to happen. And
Do you think
the
there's fraud in
situation.
California?
What's up?
Do you think there's fraud in California?
Of course, but
Okay.
I think that
it's
there's
been
more
deep-
fraud in Florida, and there's more fraud in other
There is.
areas proportionally.
What do you think of the Nick Shirley Act?
I disagree with it. I see no reason to impose
You know
it.
who the sponsor of that is?
No.
It's the AG's wife.
Okay, do I care? Why are we pivoting and not addressing what I was originally bringing up?
Because you just said California wasn't fraudulent or wasn't a mess. And I said if California's a mess, you
isn't.
said no, it's not. Dude, when
It's the fourth largest economy in the
wife
world.
was a sponsor of an act to protect
Wait,
them
you said
from
fraud.
seeking
Fraud is higher in Florida. Is Florida a mess?
It won't be by the time this is over.
Wait, is Florida currently a mess?
I don't know, but they don't have the AG.
Wait,
trying
you
to
don't
block it.
know? They have a multiple times higher rate of fraud.
Well, I asked you just a simple question.
Wait, you said that California is a
There
mess
we
because
go.
of the
There's
fraud
the
rate,
pivot.
But
I'm
wait,
talking about
what do you mean
California,
pivot?
dude.
You brought this up as a pivot in the first place. So you understand that I'm referencing what you brought up. So the fraud rate is multiple times higher in Florida than what it is in California. If you
What kind
consider
of fraud rate? What kind of
California,
fraud?
I'm talking about overall fraud. If you're talking about
What
California
kind of
being,
fraud?
I said overall fraud. If you're talking about California being an issue and being a problem and not good a place because of the fact that there's fraud in the state, well, then you have to say the same thing about Florida if it's higher in Florida.
Is the high-speed rail fraud?
High speed, it depends on what funding you're saying within relation to it. Fraud is going to be that you're specifically, at least in a governmental perspective, that you're saying money is going to a certain area and it's not going towards that area. So you'd have to prove with each little circumstance that the money went to a certain area and didn't go towards there. I think the main issue that you guys are going to bring up with the high speed rail thing is that we didn't do the buying of it earlier and we waited for those costs to accrue up, which means that we haven't spent a lot of that money yet. So I don't know what you're talking about.
Do you know what
Like
the projected?
you're just saying the
do you know
plan
what
is
the-
becoming more expensive.
Right. Do you know what the projected amount is to? And by the way, are you going to ride the high-speed rail from Merced to Bakersfield? Just curious.
If I decide to go that way, yeah.
Would you? Or do you see yourself riding the high-speed rail from Merced to Bakersfield? Do you even go to Merced to Bakersfield?
If I decide to go there and visit Central California,
So you would ride it. You'd be a customer that would ride that thing. Come on, dude. Give me-
I'd
you wanna
ride it.
get-
I'd ride it a lot.
I honestly, genuinely don't see why that would be confusing to you.
Because that thing was never meant to be complete. It was meant to be a extraction of tax money. That's all it was.
Why
ever
are we
meant.
even talking about this in the first place?
Because
What were we
we
originally
somehow
talking about?
I know I came to talk about you guys being obsessed with Trump, and you guys tailored it into something else.
You're obsessed with California.
Well, California. You asked me what I do for a living, and I told you. You said, "What do I talk about?" I said,
Yeah, so
"Yeah, I
you
talk
talk.
about
So you're
California."
obsessed with Democrats in California.
Just topics. I wouldn't say anything
Like
specifically.
you say that so
Like,
much. You
here's the
bring it
deal.
up. Your entire page must just be
No.
filled with against
No,
Democrats.
so here's
stuff.
the thing. I probably
Wait,
think
wait,
the
wait.
same-
Can you tell me what your page is on Instagram?
I don't have Instagram.
Wait, what do
It's
you
on,
post
it's on Facebook. Bakersfield Tough.
Okay, so let's see. Let's see.
Okay. TUFF.
What is it called? Bakersfield Tough?
Yeah.
Okay.
And it's not like I said, you guys will look at it and scoff at this isn't done right and this isn't done right. But at the end of the day, like I don't like Gavin Newsom, right? Probably as much as you guys don't like Trump. But I'm not sitting here. I'm not. sitting here-
So trans people, Democrats,
I just asked who the people.
a bunch of Democrats, fraud, Democrats, 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 Democrats. I'm actually saying Democrats every single time I see a Democrat. A bunch of Newsom. There's Justin Trudeau in there. You got a bunch of Democrats, 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 Democrats. So you're obsessed with Democrats.
No,
You're
wrong.
Democrat
You're lying
obsessed.
to your people. You're lying to your followers, dude.
I literally no, I'm not. I actually like scrolled through
So
and
let's look at-
every
I'm
single
gonna-
time
I'm
I
looking
saw
at
a
it right now.
Democrat, I
I'm
said
looking at it right
Democrat.
now. The top one
Democrat,
is-
Democrat,
Well, let me finish.
Democrat,
Let me-
Democrat,
Okay.
Democrat,
You wanna lie to
Democrat,
your people.
Democrat, 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 Democrat. Literally, there's so many Democrats. They're all Democrats.
Okay, but look, so look, let me ask you this question. So, like, I would probably say that I don't like Gavin Newsom as much as you guys don't like Trump, right? I mean, just being honest here, right?
And he's
But I
not
don't
even the
say-
president.
I know, listen, but he probably has more of an effect in my life than Trump does on my life. He's a California governor, dude. I mean, he's the one that's raised, I mean, the CPUC has raised our
Wait, so
tax.
so then, why is your whole point? You couldn't imagine being obsessed and
Wait, listen.
doing these lives or making your account about these things, but then
No, no,
your
no.
account is literally about that.
No, it's not. Let
And
me
you said
finish
you
my
have that
statement.
same hatred for Newsom.
I do. Let me
I
finish my
prefer my
statement.
life to yours. That's all I gotta say.
Okay, great. But here's what I'll tell you. I don't like Gavin Newsom as much as these guys don't like Trump, but I don't say Gavin Newsom 800 times a day, dude.
You've said it multiple times this stream.
No, not like you guys, dude. I'm telling you, I don't go on holidays and talk about Gavin Newsom all day. I don't
Yes, you
go
do.
on-
Your literal
No,
Facebook is
that's
spammed
That's
with
fake.
Gavin Newsom.
That's false.
What do you mean? I can literally scroll through on the screen. Do you want me to scroll through
Dude,
on
how
the
many
screen and show
topics?
people?
Listen, let me. How many?
There
how
was
many
a million Gavin Newsoms.
Okay, I'm looking right now. There's one in the last like two. This is what 2 out of 20 posts. You're talking every.
Wait,
every
wait, no,
top feed
I'll
you
literally
have.
scroll down. Let's do it. I'll scroll down. Watch. This is your account.
Correct. Wait, so go back up. Go back up. Go
Wait,
back
hold
up.
up. No, just
Wait.
watch. We're gonna scroll. There's Newsom.
Yep.
Newsom.
Yep.
Newsom.
Yep. Okay, what's all that other stuff you're scrolling over?
A bunch of Steyer, a bunch of Democrats.
Oh, okay.
You see a bunch of
those-
them? Hold
yeah,
up, wait.
so what do
There's
you-
going to be Newsom in a
exactly.
second. There's going to be another
You said,
Newsom.
wait. You said everything was Newsom.
Well, I mean, dude, there's so much Newsom is what I'm saying.
Yeah, there's so much, dude.
By the
wish
way,
your
that
channel
one
was-
is
hey,
about
listen,
Newsom.
Parker, I would have so much
This
more
is the high-speed
respect-
rail.
Yeah, so that's not Newsom.
Newsom.
I mean,
Newsom.
couldn't we just say that like it clearly looks like
Justin
you're obsessed
Trudeau.
with Democrats? Because like, although like your
We're
account is like
conservative.
spammed with Newsom, okay, every post is about Democrats.
No. If you
It
guys
is. Like
talk
this one's about the housing market. This other
Yeah,
one's
it's
about housing
about
market.
this other one's about a lawsuit, high-speed rail, stop the BS, oil, trash cans,
I told you I did what you guys did, but I'm conservative. Why is
Democrats.
Wait, you just said that you did. You
No,
just said
I
that you do what we do, but as a conservative, and you think
Right.
what we do makes us obsessed with conservatives.
No.
therefore what
I
you do
said
makes you
that.
obsessed with the
Listen,
Democrats.
I said
Like,
I
bro,
don't talk about
like, why would,
Gavin
like,
Newsom.
why
I don't
would,
talk
like,
about
you be
Gavin
the one-
Newsom all
listen, why would
day.
you be the one to make this point? Like, if you were like some fucking random, all right, that like worked in, I don't know, some shit like construction, then you might be able to make this point without looking like such a hypocrite. But you like just spam posts all day about how the Democrats suck. Like, come on, bro. Like, this is like, what are we doing?
I know, but I'm not
What are we
focused.
doing?
I can't imagine your life. I could imagine literally just like focusing so much on one thing. Actually, like all the time, it's so political. Like I could imagine doing that.
Like, I'm almost convinced that this is a troll. Like, it has
Why would
to
I be a troll?
because of what you do. Like
What do I do?
I'm just like so surprised. Like, I don't know, man. This is like a serial murderer telling somebody, "Oh, yeah, I
it's
bet you're a
different.
murderer.
No, so
I
here's
bet
the
you
deal.
murder people. I bet you murder people. You weirdo. You fucking you sick fuck. You." And meanwhile, it's Jeffrey Dahmer speaking. Like, what are we doing?
I would say this: if it'd be like the equivalent of going to my page and every post was Gavin Newsom. Every post. That's what the equivalent of what you guys do are.
No, it's not. Every single one of your posts are Democrats, though.
Dude, everything you have on the top, Parker, every day. It's not
Everything
even
you talk about is Democrats.
No, it's not. But it doesn't come.
It
I
is.
don't
Like
say,
literally,
why
we
do you
scrolled past. I
support-
literally showed the stream.
I know, but listen, no, it's not, dude. But I'm saying,
I know,
Gavin
I
Newsom,
know.
you're
You literally said
focused-
I
No, I
know.
can say conservative. Listen, I would have more respect if I would go to your page sometimes, Parker, and actually see you try to be creative a little bit and say, why do you support? I don't know. Why are you so anti-trans, or why do you think that we
I
shouldn't
used to
have
do
high
that. I used to do that.
taxes?
I think it's important. We can talk about this topic specifically when we talk about this. All
I
of
just
those
think that-
topics are derivative of this topic.
I just think that like you're not pushing yourself, Parker, because all you have is that same headline every day. Why do you
Yeah,
support Trump?
I don't.
I'm like, dude.
Hey,
like,
dude.
why don't-
You know
why
what's
don't
you know what's
push the
crazy,
envelope a
Billy?
little bit?
You know what's crazy, Billy? I don't give
What's
a
crazy,
flying
Parker?
fuck about how you want me to run my platform. I'm
No, I
running
don't
my
care either.
platform based
I know.
on how I want to run my platform.
You
If
asked
you
me
want
why
to
I
run your
support- hey,
platform a
you
certain
asked
way,
me-
go do that. I don't give a flying fuck.
Listen, you asked me to come on here. You accepted my request, dude.
What do you mean I
So
asked you? You
fucking
were
you
in my
flat out
box.
here.
You waited
asked
in
me
my
why do I
box to
support
come up. I
Trump.
didn't ask you jack
No,
shit.
you did. You asked me why do I support him? I said because he owns you.
Yeah,
dude.
I didn't ask you to come up because I didn't know who the fuck you were. I added you up from the
Right.
box, dumbass.
Right. So now I gave you my answer because he owns you, dude. Every
Okay,
post,
but that's
every
not
day, it's
owning
gonna
me.
say,
So do Democrats own you? Do Democrats own you?
Tomorrow I'm going to come here.
Do
and it's gonna
Democrats
say the
own
same
you?
thing on the top. Why
Do
you
Democrats
support
own
Trump?
you?
Do Democrats own me? I would say no because I don't. Well, listen. Hey, listen. I'm not saying that if you go through my thing, not every post I talk about is Democrats, dude.
It's 90% Democrats. What do you mean? We scrolled
probably
through.
about-
It was
it's probably about
90% Democrats.
No, that's not true.
You're literally such a liar, dude.
Also, by the way, not every conversation that we have on lives is directly about why Trump is bad. I.e., literally right fucking now.
Listen, I did on my last
Like
post,
right
dude,
now,
two-
like right
two
now,
other
we're
li-
having a conversation that isn't directly about why Trump is a bad president.
Oh, I know.
You
That's
like,
because
let me describe this to you. Okay, the why do you support Trump is used because we specifically want to talk to Trump supporters to reduce the size of MAGA to take his electorate power away, right?
Yeah.
But this is an umbrella topic for many sub discussions. Like for instance, the last hour of my stream yesterday was spent debating somebody on why trans women aren't mentally ill, for instance, and that's all under the umbrella of why they support Trump as president. And that's also kind of the intention, right? If somebody comes up here and says that they support Trump as president because of social issues, next thing we know, they're telling us it's because they think being gay is wrong because they're Christian. Well, then we're having a debate about that subtopic about why you could be a Christian and not think that being
Exactly.
gay is wrong. Or if somebody comes up here and says that they support Trump because of economic issues, or global foreign affairs, like the war in Iran. Well, now all of a sudden we're talking about the history of American imperialism, the destabilization which is caused in the Middle East, and like why ultimately this is bad for them and bad for us. Okay, we're no longer just directly talking about Trump. It serves as an umbrella for about 1,000,000,001 different discussions that encapsulates all of the thoughts held by the GOP about the left and about global affairs. And that's why it's not an obsession and not an obsession with Trump. We don't just kick people off if the first thing that they say is, well, I support Trump because I love Trump, 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 Trump. And my evidence is this conversation. You're up here having a debate with us right now under the umbrella. Why do you support Trump? Because your point was consequential of that headline. And it's not directly about Trump, but rather about, your misconceptions about the obsession of me and Parker. And we're continuing to have that debate with you because it's the point of the live streams is for the why do you support Trump headline just to be a conversation starter.
Yeah, so just why do you support Trump, man?
Well, there's a few reasons. One, he doesn't like girls and boys sports. I'm for that. I have 2 daughters. I don't want some guy out there on the field with my daughter hurting him. Possibly, I don't want him in there. I don't want her. I don't want boys in her locker room.
But you'd be okay if a 60-year-old man went up to her and said he'd be dating her in 10 years, and you'd still vote for him for president?
No.
Wait, but that's what Donald Trump did. He went up to a 10-year-old girl and he said he'd be dating her in 10 years.
Yeah, I don't. Donald Trump's not my. He's not someone that's going to go up to my daughter.
Oh, okay, but if he did that, you'd still vote for him?
No.
No, you wouldn't? So, but if he does it to someone else's daughter, you'd still vote for him?
Would you vote for Joe Biden again if he ran?
Can you answer the question?
Okay, no, I would not vote if Donald Trump ever gets, and please don't bring up Gene. I already know that Dean's going to come up and bring up Gene, dude, because he does all the time. Dude, if someone had something where someone was criminally charged, not civilly, but criminally charged with something, I would not. And here's the deal. I don't support Trump. Here's the thing. I don't support Trump on everything he does, dude. I am not MAGA. I don't wear.
Useful here.
I don't wear a MAGA hat, dude. I'm not MAGA. You may say it's easy for you guys to label someone MAGA because then you can kind of group everybody in. Dude, I'm a conservative, dude. I don't agree. There's a lot of times I criticize Trump.
And so, what we mean by MAGA is you support Trump, you'd vote for him. That's what MAGA means.
Between him and Kamala, yeah.
Kamala. So yeah, you are MAGA. So stop trying to distance yourself from what
like
you are.
I would vote for. Let me see. Who's another conservative?
Wait, actually, 100% of MAGA supports Trump. Actually, he's got 100% approval ratings, like you've never seen before.
So you asked me a question, like why would I vote for him, and I gave you some answers. You didn't like that answer. I know you didn't like it.
What was the answer? I
told you. My first thing is I don't think trans behavior is great for humanity.
Yeah, but you said you would vote for Donald Trump, right? Mm-hmm. You wouldn't vote for what's it called? Someone who specifically advocated for trans people to be able to play in sports, which, by the way, there's no trans people dominating sports. You won't even be able to give me any examples specifically, which is also something that you don't even need to address on a federal level. Like, I don't know how we'd do that. But your focus isn't on Donald Trump, who's literally went up to 10-year-old girls and said he'd be dating them in 10 years. We can point to the fact that he's literally bragged about walking into the changing rooms of naked women while they're changing without their consent, where 2 18-year-olds came out and said there are 4 girls as young as 15 years old in these changing rooms. But your issue at the end of the day is trans people.
Who's Leah Thomas?
She wasn't dominating. She didn't win every single time.
Leah Thomas is a trans woman who wins.
Won the NCAA. Wait, hang on a second.
No, let me speak here.
Won the NCAA.
Leah Thomas.
500
let me tell you who Leah Thomas is. Leah Thomas is a trans woman who, when competing in the men's league, set multiple records and was absolutely dominating the sport. But then years later, after HRT, when competing in the women's league, didn't break a single record ever again in her career.
Parker said that never won anything
cooked.
great.
You just got cooked, Billy.
Won the NCAA Division 500-yard freestyle in 2022. Won the NCAA Division.
Wait, can you address Dean's point? Can you address Dean's point there?
I know. Wait, I'm telling you right now. He won the NCAA, or she, or whatever, against females. Won the NCAA Division I title in swimming.
Wait, that's not a record, though.
Come on, dude. Give me
That's
a break.
not a record. Wait, so
you said
she in the men's league was breaking records. Wait, listen. She in the men's league was breaking records and then doesn't break any records in the women's league.
You said there was never an incident of a male competing against a female
and dominating.
That is dominating.
Yeah, you're not. I said you wouldn't be able to provide me any examples of people dominating. Winning one time is not dominating. So
dude,
again, if you went from literally setting multiple records in the men's league to literally in the women's league not setting records, right? Is that dominating? No.
Yeah. Also,
dude, I'm telling you right now.
Also, so Leah Thomas's 500 freestyle time was 15 seconds slower when competing in the women's league compared to competing in the men's league after HRT.
Right. So what? I know. So how sad is that? That a guy goes into a women's league and can't even
She.
It's not a she, dude. I'm
Yes,
not playing make believe.
she is. And also, by the way, after multiple years of HRT, buddy, after multiple years of HRT,
you can play make believe. I'm not doing it. That's
Billy, we're not playing make believe. You don't even believe in science. Do you believe in climate change caused by humans?
Let me ask you a question. Can I say I'm 14
do you believe in climate change caused by humans,
I'm 14
Billy?
years old. Can I?
No, Billy. Do you believe in climate change caused by humans? Billy, you have to unmute yourself.
What are you asking me?
Do you believe in climate change caused by humans?
Not the way that the Democrats say it is. No.
You mean the scientists?
Yeah, science.
So by the way, you don't accept science, and you're trying to act like we're the ones that don't accept science. You literally don't even accept science, dude.
I just asked you a
That's
question.
so embarrassing.
What percentage of the atmosphere is CO2?
Well, I'd have to. I think it's a very, very minimal amount, less than 1%.
Right. It is.
What's your point?
Okay, and of that,
what's the most abundant gas in the atmosphere? You have to Google it. All right, buddy. It's
no. I'm asking you a question. I'm going to get to it right now.
Wow.
So, can you, what?
I mean,
it starts with an N.
And it ends with a gin.
Oxygen. I mean, I'm sorry.
Nitrogen, bro. What are you saying? It starts with an N. Oxygen.
Sorry.
Oh my god.
Hang on, listen.
He said it starts with an N, and I said it ends with a gin. And buddy said oxygen. My god.
So out of the carbon dioxide,
he's outing the libs like you've never seen before, actually.
So out of the CO2, what percentage is caused by humans?
I would have to look at the percent. I'm saying that due to the CO2 influx, according to scientists, it's led to an increase in global temperatures because of the greenhouse effect. So you understand
how much of an increase?
I'd have to check the percentage.
Yeah, so it's about a third. It's about a third of the total CO2.
That's a lot.
That's created. I know, but what percent? But the CO2.
That's us offsetting the natural process that existed. And by the way, it's not just CO2 emissions. There are other greenhouse gas emissions, like, for example, methane. Methane, within a short period of time, 20 years or so, it's 83 times stronger than CO2 in terms of a greenhouse gas.
Why do you think CO2 is why is CO2 made to be like a villain? Have you ever thought what would happen
because that's a major what's it called, a greenhouse gas emission?
What do trees feed off?
Oh, wait. I want to. Yes, this is what I was going to clarify on. CO2 is not inherently bad. Okay, we need some CO2 in our atmosphere,
of course,
because it's what keeps trees alive. So nobody's saying that. We're just saying that you could have too much CO2.
Okay.
It's just throwing off the balance that existed.
Right, but climate change has been going on for years, and they've had extreme temperatures that have been.
Not at this rate.
Not at this rate.
Yeah, the difference is the rate of change, and also when the climate existed in a different way. When the climate existed in a different way, that wasn't for human existence. That was for other species in existence. So you're throwing off the balance that's existed for when humans have existed.
Right. So what do you think causes the increase in CO2? Do you think that what would you think? What's the solution?
What causes the increase in CO2?
I'm asking what solution. Yeah. So what would you
think?
Human
beings engaging in use of industrial energy.
Right. So you think that we need to cut down on industrial, right?
No. Of course, but through building up other forms of energy production,
like what?
Renewable energy and other means in the long run.
Okay, that's fine.
Nuclear is good for inconsistencies with wind, solar, tidal, hydroelectric, etc.
Yeah, I love nuclear.
Listen, I'm a big fan of nuclear. All right, nuclear is the future.
Right. So who decided to get rid of the nuclear plants in California, or who wants to get rid of them? Has Bernie Sanders been pro-nuclear plant?
So for a long time, what used to be a bipartisan push against nuclear energy, we kind of fear-mongered against it, I would assume, because of lobbyists from, big coal, so on and so forth, big oil, right? And unironically, this is kind of like the APAC of 45 years ago, right? Where everybody was just being paid to kind of hate nuclear. All right, but Iluki is a future. It's great. All right, big upfront investment. It takes maybe 15 to 20 years to build a facility, but then after that, they're really low cost and they're really efficient. All right, W nuclear.
Right. I agree.
W nuclear.
I agree with that. Right.
Yeah.
I have no problem with that. Okay, good. We're agreeing on something.
Yeah, but that should be categorized along with other renewables.
So the question though is like, okay, so like let's take a look at CO2, right? So if you look at California, or not California, look at the United States, right? All the car manufacturers, they're almost zero emission. Like if you look at the emissions on cars now, I mean, I have a diesel truck and you can get behind it and the emission out of that is almost nothing. And that is because the manufacturers have done a lot of the heavy lifting to make sure that these cars are a lot more
Not true.
efficient than they are.
Wrong. Okay, so there's actually a shit ton of emissions from the production of gas through oil, and then of course the usage of said in combustion motor vehicles. Clearly, what I'd say here is that EVs are the future. That's an undeniable future, even from somebody that like loves his American muscle. Like, God, I fucking love Corvettes. Holy shit. Okay, right. But at the same time, EVs the future. They're significantly better for usage of non-renewable energy resources. It is honestly insane how much better EVs are than what we currently have. And that's where we're going to be. That's where we're going to be. And we should be there. We really should. All right.
So I look at California, right? And the reason why I think that Gavin Newsom has pushed for EVs is because he's tied in so deep with PG&E. And of course, they're the big winners on the EV push because, right, you got to charge these things, but our grids can't handle them, right?
That's why you expand the infrastructure for the grids.
Well, how do you do that?
You
They
invest.
can't even manage what they have. But Parker, they can't even manage what they have now. We have forests that get burnt down. We have power lines everywhere. It's not even close.
You act like that's not a natural thing that occurs. Yeah, of course we have forests that burn down. That's called having a very large basis for that, and historically speaking, because of how many trees are here, because of the level of plant life, because of the certain conditions, and environmentally speaking, in which yield the particular level of fires because of the dry heat. So
and the lack of management, right? Lack of management. Like
it's not just management, though. It's also going to be considering the effects in terms of energy production and other sort of ways as well. But of course, like, yes, there is fires that exist here. That's not unique to Democrats.
How much CO2 is produced on those fires?
I would have to look at each fire. Of course, there's a lot of CO2 that's produced. And of course, we want to prevent fires. Of course. But you act like that's like Democrats caused the fires. Like,
they did. Yeah.
How?
I mean, why do you think the Palisades burnt down? Do you think it burnt down because it was just a sad thing, or do you think it's because that brush?
What did the Democrats do to cause the fires?
Empty the wells.
Can you give me a source?
Yeah.
Because it's not wells of water. You need high pressurized.
Yeah, they emptied the reservoirs. They were both empty.
Of high pressurized water?
The two reservoirs that they had for that were empty.
Wait,
yes.
Were they highly pressurized water?
That's where they get the water to fight the fires.
No. So it wasn't. So the issue that we had, of course you don't know this, isn't with getting water. It was with getting highly pressurized water in those areas. You have no fucking clue what you're talking about.
Right. Listen, I actually went down there and covered it. I get it.
Do you live in Southern California?
Yeah, I went down there and covered it. Yeah, for sure.
So you don't live in Southern California?
No, I live in Bakersfield.
So I just want you to know, I live in Southern California.
Okay.
I know areas. I know people who live in the areas in which this was affected.
You had everybody turning the valves on, and it didn't, and all the pressure is gone. I get it. The problem though is the reservoirs. There was no water.
It's not water. It's the fucking pressure.
Dude, I'm telling you, the water was gone.
It's not water. It's not water.
So do you think Spencer Pratt's going to lose on this argument that he has? He's got a lawsuit against LA County and everything for not managing all that. You think he's going to lose?
If his argument is that it's just the amount of water that they had, then obviously that's not true. It's the pressurized water.
Right. How much pressure do you get when you don't have water?
Obviously, they had water.
They didn't, dude. They had
yes,
no pressure because they had no water.
Okay, so you're saying no water was in LA, really?
You're saying Spencer Pratt's wrong.
You think the argument I'm going to accept is that there was no water in LA? How come I wasn't affected by that?
No. The reservoirs in the Palisades that were meant to fight the fires were empty, and that's already been documented. That's not even in question.
Of pressurized water, not of water in general.
Why would they even have those reservoirs in? What's the purpose of them?
We need pressurized.
What's the purpose of the reservoirs? I'm asking you.
Can you give me a source that it was empty, all the reservoirs?
Dude, Spencer Pratt has been talking about it.
Give me a source. I don't want to hear his random person
Dean,
said this.
Can you step in on this, please?
I want a source.
I want Dean to.
Don't say Dean save me. I want a source.
I'm not. Okay, hang on.
In the meantime, Brooklyn, thank you so much for the $2. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Starts with an N, ends with Jen. Oxygen. Steven, thank you so much. Really appreciate the $2. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it, Steven. Give some W's for Steven in the comment section. As well as Dee Dee, thank you so much for the $10. Thank you very much. He is very jealous of us. Gina, thank you for the $5. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Harold, thank you for the $10 as well. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Lol. That's funny. Thank you very much. Esther as well. Thank you for the $5. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. Yeah, he's very ridiculous, isn't he?
Okay,
He's
so
very
the main
ridiculous.
reservoir tied to the area in the San Ynez
Shelly, thank you for the 10 as
Reservoir.
well. What's the title?
I'm just reading off ChatGPT. I just typed it in. It's just you can do it.
Click
too.
on the source and then tell me the title of the source you're referencing.
I'm trying. You tell me. I'm getting it for you. Dude.
Tsunami, thank you so much. Really appreciate the $5. Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Thank you. I'm so sorry to hear that. Yeah, it definitely is. Thank you very much. Off my glass, thank you so much for the $10 as well. Thank you very much.
LA
I really appreciate it.
Times.
Thank you. Yeah, I'll have to ask him about the Republican states after this.
I mean, I'm just looking at a LA Times here. It says Spencer Pratt, Heidi Montag suing city of LA for DDP after losing home Palisades fire.
No, I
That's
need
obviously-
I need a source that there was no water in any reservoirs. Who can say
Well, I mean, I'm just looking at. I mean, it's all
where
good.
the
Why don't you find a source that
road
wasn't
goes,
true? Parker, you find a
where
source that
the
it's not true.
day goes,
Parker, you find a source that it's not
where
true. I'll
we
listen.
know. Wait,
Find
you're
me
the
a
one
source that
who,
it's
wait,
not
you're the
true.
one who made the claim, bro.
No, I know you always do
Mad
this, though. You
Scramble,
tell
thank
people
you so much for the $10. Thank you very much for climate scientists. Climate change contributes to increased yearly forest fires, which releases more GHG. It's one of several positive feedbacks that accelerate global warming. Thank you so much, Mad Scramble. Get cooked by a climate scientist.
No, I agree. I never.
Faceless, thank you for the $2. Thank you.
I'm saying that the Sierra Club doesn't manage the forest, which causes a bunch of fuel that helps burn these things out of control. I didn't say that fire. Didn't
Okay, so we need more money for fire management.
No, so I asked you.
So we
No,
need
you
more
to manage the
governmental
forest.
funds
Yes.
to address these things.
You need more. You need more funds.
And you think Republicans are advocating for that?
For manage? I think didn't Donald Trump go in there and say that we needed to rake the forest?
Wait, but did he provide the funding for it?
He probably would have.
No, he threatened to get rid of the funding.
Why did he threaten to get rid of it?
Because he didn't like that Democrats were trying to go after him or not fulfilling what he wanted them to do.
What did he want him to do?
I think in that circumstance, it was something relating to like the election or something.
I have never heard a conservative ever say that we shouldn't manage the forest ever.
Well, I mean, didn't they try to sell a bunch of it?
I don't know. I'm just telling you. I've never.
Yeah, they did. They tried to sell. Oh my God, they tried to sell like what was that? Like 100,000 acres, or maybe even a little bit more. Maybe, dude, I think it was even over like 1 million acres of wildlife in Colorado to like raise money for some like bullshit, like the big beautiful bill, right? That is relinquishing government management of forests, which could then lead to more forest fires. So your last statement was.
What did they want to do with
false.
it? What did they want to do with the land?
They wanted to sell it to private owners.
To do what with it?
To then take the money and spend it on some bullshit. I don't know.
I know. I mean, what are you gonna do with the land, though?
Well, I don't think that they ever asked that. They just said that they wanted to sell it. They didn't say that they wanted to sell it for one specific purpose or another.
Did they want to buy the land and then just to grow more bush?
Well, I don't know because it got shot down, and they had to get the federal approval to sell the federal
What does that
land.
have to do with the Sierra Club blocking, like, managing the forest? Because
This is a refutation of your claim that you've never heard a Republican say that they didn't want to manage.
Do you guys think
the
that we
land.
should manage
And
the forest?
This is an example of Republicans wanting to give up relinquishment of management of.
Do
Federal
you guys
land.
think that we should manage the forest?
Wait, hold
Yeah,
on.
I think
Before
that
we
we
do,
should manage
this is an
federal land.
article right here. Trump refused to give California wildfire aid until told how many people there voted for him. Aid says.
What's the source on that?
Politico.
But we did.
Former White House advisors said that Trump hesitated as president to provide disaster aid to California because of the state's Democratic leanings.
Parker, do you agree though that we should manage? Dean said he agreed. Parker, you're going to get on that board that we should actually manage the forest and go against the Sierra Club on this?
Of course, we should manage the forest
Okay,
if
so we all agree.
if it's important for.
We agree. There's our
unless there's good reason otherwise.
What's good reason?
I don't know. I was like, is there a good reason why they don't want us to manage the fires?
Yeah, because they think it's environmentally bad.
Oh, I mean, it depends on the environmental. impacts.
Right. What's environmental impact?
I would have to see. I said it depends.
Like,
I
what was the
told you.
environmental impact? I mean, what was the
I'm not
environmental
sure. I'd have
impact
to
surrounding the
look into
Palisades?
that, dude. I just told you I don't fucking know.
Okay, good. We all agree on that. Good. We all
We
agree
didn't
that
all
Sierra
agree on that. I'd have to
Yeah,
look
we did.
into
We
it.
agreed that the Sierra Club doesn't know what they're talking about because they say we shouldn't manage
I
forests
never
for
said they didn't know
environmental
what they're
reasons.
talking about. I just said I'm not familiar with it.
Oh, okay. There you
Okay,
go.
so can you answer my question that I asked earlier?
What was the question? Yeah, what was the question?
Yeah, so I referenced specifically that Trump refused to give California wildfire aid until how many people were told voted for him.
Yeah, it's probably not a good idea. I don't know. I don't agree with everything he does, dude. I'm not like 100. I'm not like you guys, all in, all out. That's not me.
Okay, so I don't know why you brought this up originally.
I don't know. You think you brought it up probably if you backtrack somehow.
You got cooked because you tried to pivot
I
away
got
from the
cooked.
points.
Oh yeah, I pivoted.
Yeah, because you were trying to say that we deny science, and then I
Yeah,
was
I
pointing
pivoted.
towards the fact that you actually deny science, and then you were trying to pivot away from it and be like,
You tried to bring up
California,
climate
something
change,
related to California. I hate California.
No, I don't hate California. I love California. I'm just saying California.
Oh,
is
you love
screwed
a
up
blue
right now.
state?
Huh?
You
Yeah,
love the
I
blue
love
state?
Yeah, I mean the oceans are awesome. I love going up in the mountains. I have a cabin up at the lake. Yeah, dude, I love this place. I
And
race
you won't
cars.
leave even though they have the taxes that they do?
No, I love this place, dude.
Even with the taxes?
You're not going to leave the United States even though Trump's president? You
Well,
hate Trump and you're not going to
no,
leave? Why
no.
not?
The point
Fucker, leave.
I'm making though is that like you don't leave even though the taxes increased.
And
I'm
you
kind of
won't
like
leave
making
even
a
though you
point
hate
against
Trump.
that.
You
I'm
won't leave
not. I'm
even
not
though you hate
making that
Trump.
claim. I'm not making
Neither
that claim
am I.
ideologically speaking. I'm trying to use that against you because of the fact that Trump
I know.
supporters,
You
historically
don't want. I
speaking,
know.
make
Of
this
course.
claim, not because
Right.
I
And
think this.
right. I don't think that. If I thought that, I would have said I'm going to leave California. I never said I was leaving California.
I never said that you were going to do that. I was just using the point that conservatives constantly argue
Right.
against
And
you.
I used the same thing back on you, and you didn't want to hear it. I said, well, if you don't like Trump, why don't you
Because
leave
I
the
never
United
argued
States?
that in the first place from my
Neither did
perspective.
I.
Oh my
Neither
God,
did
this
I.
guy's so insufferable. You know, I was
Right.
not arguing that.
Yeah, either did I. I never argued that. Just because I criticize California doesn't mean I have to leave California. That's a
That's
ridiculous
not what I was
argument.
saying either. You're being dishonest.
Okay. Yeah, you just said it, dude.
That's not what I said.
Yeah, it was.
Okay, can I ask you broadly more about Trump? Is there anything you think Trump could do that would get you to stop supporting him?
I think some of the things he does is like, I wish he just wouldn't talk about it. I think he's like too outspoken on Twitter. You know, I wouldn't. I get what he wants to do. He wants to say, he wants to kind of do peace through strength. So he's hoping that he can carry a big stick and not have to use it. But my thing is, and I don't always agree with that. I'm thinking like, if you want to do something, just don't talk about it. Just do it. And I think that's probably his biggest weakness. His Twitter, and which is, I will say this, that I don't know who runs his, Truth Social or his Twitters. Maybe it's him, although I don't think it is him. I think he has a team that does it. And I would say that's probably been his biggest Achilles heel, to be honest.
What was my question?
Is there anything I would do that I wouldn't vote for him?
Is there anything Trump could do that would get you to stop supporting him?
Well, I don't support him on everything. That's what I told you.
That's
So
not
what
what
do you
I
mean
asked.
support him?
I never said you support him on everything.
So let me ask you this question.
When I say
If I
support
were-
him, that would mean that you'd not vote for him over Harris, for example, if
Okay,
the
let me,
election were
no,
held
no, I
today.
would never. Okay, so let me ask you this.
So
Would I have-
what could Trump do that would get you to stop supporting Trump from that perspective?
I don't think I could ever vote Democrat because I don't agree with.
But would you
trans
just choose
ideology.
not to vote?
I'm a conservative, so whatever I would say, whatever.
Okay,
lets
so you're a
me use my
cultist,
perspective.
essentially. You're a cultist. You will not
Yeah,
stop
and you are
supporting
too.
Trump no matter
And so are
what.
you. So are you. You would never vote conservative, so we're both cultists.
I would vote for a Republican candidate if the Republican candidate were
wouldn't.
better.
No, you wouldn't.
Yeah, I
What policy
would.
would you vote for? What conservative policy would you vote for?
I would vote for a conservative candidate that specifically was better as a person comparative to a
Mm-hmm.
different candidate. For example, right, if someone was held civilly liable of sexually abusing a woman, I wouldn't vote for them, regardless of the political aisle.
So, look, Trump's going to be gone in 2 years, right? So at that point, it's a clean slate, right? So now we're going to start talking about Gavin Newsom, and I mean, so would you say Gavin Newsom is a good person?
I think he's preferable to Trump and Vance.
Yeah. Didn't he sleep with his best friend's
Yes,
wife?
he cheated on one of his
Do you think
exes.
that's a good person? Would you do that to your best friend?
I think that's a bad thing to do, but I think that people can change over time.
And he had a 19-year-old girlfriend when he was 38. I'll just say that Gavin Newsom's
That's
a bad
really
person.
weird.
Yeah, I'll just say that he's a bad person.
Right. So
I didn't
let me
even
ask you
know
this.
that about the 19. That's actually crazy.
Well, I mean, it could be false because it's something I saw on Twitter. Let me fact check it.
Yeah, I was like, I've never seen that before.
So, like, regardless of that, let's just say that if there was someone that was an upstanding conservative that was a better person than Gavin Newsom, would you vote for them?
Say that one more time.
If Gavin Newsom, if the conservative was a better person, just a better individual.
I think that when we talk about character, it matters what they did as a person, right?
Right. Yeah. So I'm not saying would someone
like I think sexual abuse is treated differently than other
Okay, but the next person that
I'll be right back. I'm just gonna mute my mic. But I'll be
okay,
back.
for sure.
The next person coming up though may not have that stuff. So I'm asking you right now, if Gavin Newsom is someone that we agree has kind of done some stuff in the past, it isn't, I wouldn't do that. I don't think you would sleep with Dean's girlfriend. I mean, whatever I think of you, I don't think you would do that.
Of course
I wouldn't
not.
do that.
Why would you say something like that?
Why would I say I don't think you would do that?
Why would you even need to bring something up like that? Obviously, the conditions you're talking about, we can acknowledge that someone has cheated in the past, but then can change in terms of their behavior over time. Cheating in of itself is not a complete disqualifier.
No.
From me voting from you.
No.
Me voting.